Begin. Hello, hello. I am Dr. B Power. I want you to be in power of your world. This is the Medicine Woman Solution Show, and I am just checking the channels. Okay, I'm glad to have you here today. You are very important in your world. You just don't have no clue how important you really are. And the more that we stay hidden behind our fears, our insecurities, our programs, the more you are going to prevent yourself from having a fabulous life. Uh, I grew up with such insecurities, just like every other child, because you're learning. And what have I learned from it? And it's very important. Okay. Hey, I'm live. Hi, how are you? And it's important to understand this. So today's topic is if you don't use your personal power for you, others will come along and use it for you. And I had this, I was teaching a class. I teach empowerment through enlightenment, and back in the days, hi. Oh, I thought it was flipped. Um, and so I everybody was kind of like, it was a small group, and it was nice. No matter what group size I have, I believe that you're there because you want to learn, and that is why I love it. So we're there and we're talking, and there was a bunch of friends there, and got to know these two wonderful people had their best friend. I mean, they adored her, loved her, and everything. And during the session, it came to pass, they had a revelation. And I sat there going, oh, wow, I got to see a different perspective, and which changed my perception. And just so you know, your perception controls your DNA, or I should say, change your RNA. But this is what happened. We're talking about personal power, and everybody's going around going, "Oh, well, personal power. Well, what I learned is that no, that's wrong to to have your power or to use it on people, and everything is about power. No, no, no." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait, wait, wait." I said, "You got to understand about power. Other people will use your power. You ever felt used? Do you ever feel like you were in control and you weren't over in your own world?" And they're like, yes, yes, yes. I said, and when that has happened, um, did you feel powerless or powerful? And they're like, well, I felt powerless. And I said, so are you afraid of your power? Well, sorta. And as they started to break it down, they're like, yeah, but I don't want to be mean. I said, so you're saying if you are powerful, you're going to be mean. And so then they explained why. This is what they saw. This is what they experienced. And I'm like, okay, so if you have power equals being mean, anybody else? And they're saying, yeah, if that's just wrong. And I said, oh, so whose belief system is that? That if you don't have your power, then somebody is going, don't have your power. What does that mean? Have you ever had the situation? You don't have your power. And the reason I say this is because if you don't have your power, it's just going to be sit there and be there for those that will use it. So as these two girls are telling how they love this person and they're talking about power and we're getting into it, and the one girl goes, well, of course I use their power. And we're like, what? Well, you're not using it. So we're going to show you how to use it. And it, she kind of, and then she went on, she goes, well, you don't use your power. So why else do you think that if I don't want to do it, I'll just tell you? And I'm like, she's telling all of her how she's manipulating, and she thinks it's fun and fine. And it's okay to manipulate. And she knows how to do it so well that these two girls had no idea they were snowed all these years. And the horror on their face that they had a friend that would do that. And the friend is like, but that's what you're supposed to do. And it's like, what? Your personal life force power is not bad. You need it for your body to survive. But to use your power, your voice, your choice, what you want, what you like, we have been taught to be the good girl or the good boy. And we're taught that if we're smacked down, don't get up. And somebody else has a smarter idea, then shut up because they're going to call you stupid. And we don't want our feelings hurt. Most of the time, we walk around with feeling very insecure about our looks, about what we just said, about our intelligence. So if we let the outside of the fear of speaking up control us, then we will fall for everything because we won't know how to trust ourselves, how to achieve something. And when you have not been given or born with or had in your soul contract to start off with somebody to help you set the foundation, you're supposed to go out and seek it. But if you have a belief system that says, well, that's wrong to use power. Do you guys know what I'm talking about with power? Share with me in the comments. What do you think about it when you think about power? People abuse it, right? What else? What else? Because you do use it. You just don't know you use it. And sometimes you use it against yourself to create the wrong things. Power is about being in charge. And thank you. Do you like to be in charge or you'd rather just have somebody else be in charge? Because I know that I wouldn't want to be in charge of anybody. I want to be in charge of myself. Now, when I had to become a mother, it's like I had to be in charge of two little beings. And I'm like, I can't even be in charge of myself. But mama bear, these things will come out. But before then, I had people, trying to convince me this is the right thing to do. And they did it with such excitement. And I didn't realize that they were pimping me to do what they wanted for themselves. But they just made it sound so fun, or they made it sound like, I have the ability and they can't. And I'm talked into doing things. Power is of is but blank of our will. I don't know that word. I don't know if it came across right. But personal life force power, one, you need it for the body. And if you keep giving away your power to beliefs, people, ideas, borrowed, the world, because it's like you have to do the right thing. You have to worship this, or you have to follow that, or you have to be this and you're not because you compare yourself to that. And it can be very much a very scary world in that. So what I can tell you, it's very miserable, she says. What, to not have your power? You used to be in power? Explain a little bit more. Yes, to be in charge of our will. Very good. So far, we're getting there. Our will. Our will. So here's the thing. We want to be in charge of our willpower, what we decide to do, our fate, right? Well, why do you fall for certain belief systems? The biggest lie, or I should say the biggest truth of the time was, and I want you to start studying this. Look at Dr. Bruce Lipton and in the new studies of epigenetics. But the biggest thing that a lot of people have not caught up with when new ideas come in, a lot of times it takes years before it can really get onto the planet for people to all agree upon it on a collective manner. And that was genetic determinism. And they said that the genes controlled your life. And so every time you went to the doctors or every time you went certain places, you're like, oh my God, my mother had cancer. That means I'm going to have it. No, genetic determinism first was a theory. It never was proven correct. They ran with it because it was more about central dogma. And central dogma is this place that it has to do with how religion loved the idea because religion is in charge. go back years and years and years, and we're learning to think for ourselves. And when they would take, and there's a whole long story, but I'm not going to give you all of it, but it's time that we talk about this because there are people that still have that victim mindset and they feel they have no power to change their health. They have no power to change their mind. Oh, you're not supposed to change your mind. You know, what was it, the thing about women that people would talk about? Oh God, I remember going, oh my God, I can't change my mind because they're going to call me that, or they're going to say bad things about me. Oh, women just change their mind on things. And then when people would complain and bitch, it was to control you so that it persuades you to think differently. Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember? So, anybody remember? I do. And I that's a part of me. Then when I woke up, I'm like, I used to run and cringe when somebody would be complaining. And I'm one, I'm a girl, and two, I I would be so afraid. But when I started to build my self-esteem and when I started building that I could do things and that I could be happy by choice, not I'd stop looking outside of myself to find happiness. I didn't have to have a pursuit to happiness. I could wake up happy every day. And when people would sit there and put this negative things, you will hide your light. You'll hide who you are because you do not want to. Thank you. You do not want to be controlled or you don't want to be, but yet at the same time, you don't know how to be inside of you so that you're not used. Again, if you don't use your personal power, it's yours. If you don't use it, others will believe it is up for grabs and they'll use it. And if you've been beaten down enough, you won't know that you can use your personal power because you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to be called names. Yes, I remember. Okay. And the thing is that we then pull away, pull away, pull away further from who we really are. And the problem with that is if we start pulling away and not using our personal power and our personal power is restricted, it goes out to show the whole world that we're not using it. And then somebody come along and become your best friend and take advantage of you because they don't know that that's right or wrong. They just like, oh, I can do this. I can control. They're still controlled even if they don't show themselves. Yes. Because it's the beliefs, it's the programs, it's the autopilots. This is why I need people to wake up, heal themselves, change the chemistry in their brain, remove the chemical peptide that's controlling you so that others can't come along and say, oh, they got fear. This will be fun. I mean, literally people are, hey, I've got this. I got street smarts. Look, let me work it. Oh, I'm the greatest salesperson in the world. I'm going to convince you. part of my morals, part of my ethics is no, I'm going to give you the opportunity to change your world if you want, but there's no forcing. If you don't want to see it or you can't or wherever you're at, that's fine. I respect that. But if you are coming to me and you're crying and I can show you how to touch your forehead or move the energy because you're electromagnetic beings, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I was in a crap show. And now all of a sudden I can think and I'm calm. Yeah, you used your personal life force power physically to shift out the chemical peptides. The chemical peptides are what controls your cells, your 50 trillion cells that makes the community of you to act and be a certain way. Why would you give your power away to a thought, emotions, to people, to ideas? It's not just the humans out there. We do it to ourselves when we get into a shit show or we take and when we feel the pain and we go into the pain and we keep adding meaning because we have an imagination and we are disconnected from our whole self. And we go straight into left brain and right brain just can't do anything. And then you cannot, when you're stressed, fight, flight, freeze. When you're stressed, 80% of the blood leaves your forebrain, goes into your limbs. I got to fight. I got to freeze. I got to do something. I got to get away from that tiger. And then not only that, but the blood in the visceral in your gut comes away from your organs, goes into your limbs because it's got to survive. But most of us have not upgraded our system so we don't have to be in fight, flight, freeze. Most of us walk around 24/7, and that is what is changing the codes. It doesn't affect the DNA. It just the RNA is what gets changed. And so these little epi points of on and off switches on your RNA about, and you're agreeing with it, you accepted, you believe, and you gave it your willpower. You, in the end, are responsible. But when you're little and you're downloading that first 7 years and you're downloading and you may have a tumultuous life, how are you going to know? Well, that's where your soul, if you can start hearing it, are you going to hear it this lifetime? Well, if you're here, then yes, you are. And we walk around going, oh, like physically, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to be able to do the splits and all these things, but I had to take care of a physical issue first. And I had to repair my cells. I had to take care of it. So I had to put my ideas and plans off. It wasn't in the ego going, oh my God, I can't have it now. I'll never have it again. When I woke up and heard that I was sad, did I have to be? I mean, I borrowed it and learned it and I accepted it and gave it my willpower, and so be it. I created the chemical peptide. I thought it, I felt it, created more chemical peptides to think it more and feel it more. And it just messed with my brainwave that it changed from happy to miserable. And if you do it enough time, your brain waves are going to fire and wire, and you're going to create a program. And then what happens, if you haven't seen the movie Inside Out or Inside Out 2, go for it. Okay? Because I love the fact that what I've been teaching for years is finally up on the screens for all the people to see. We are still in charge, not just the hormones, or they get to dictate and they go, oh, it's 2 o'clock. She should be miserable. All right, well, let's push the button. Oh, no, she's getting ice cream and happy. No, that can't happen. Okay, the program is in charge, and you push the button. These memories that have these attached emotions, these unresolved issues, you're giving your power away to your own insecurities. But that's still a program. That's not your true identity. You have an authentic self that you can tap into to help you heal those programs and those emotional chemical peptides. But if fear is in charge and you're not, it's going to take you longer. All right. Oh, maybe that's not for me. Maybe that's for something else. Oh, it was a very stressful moment. Try to come up with today. Okay. So when things don't go your way, it can be very stressful. If you agree to it, accept, believe, and it interferes with your plans or your heart plan. And it's like, oh, you had to step back and ask and wait for her to write the rest of it. And see, and when it's frustration, like this morning, I had, again, I don't know what it is. I can't seem to put this wig on. I woke up this morning and I remembered my dream. My dream was trying to wake me up. And I remember I'm laying there in my dream and I'm hot and I'm uncomfortable. And I remember this, so there's like two men. So you got to remember it's about action or it's the part of me trying to wake my ass up. Okay. So these two parts of me are like, okay, it's too hot. How does anybody sleep when it's too hot? And then they put a cover over my head and I'm like, oh, calm. And I'm about ready to drift off. And they go, well, see if she's alive. What if somebody put some chemical peptides in her? And of course, my brain goes, what? Chemical peptides? And I woke straight up and I was producing the warmth to the point where it's like, I'm just going to stay in bed. And I then could convince myself that I don't have to do the show today if I didn't want to. I could feel that I could spiral out of control. But I thought, no, I'm just going to observe. I'm not even going to absorb my own thoughts and my emotions. I'm not going to run with it with scissors and around because I'm had a chemical peptide to a thought. Do you understand what a chemical peptide is? So here's your cell. And on each cell has what's called receptors. And then each cell has a channel. Okay. So the only way that this cell knows how to behave is when you have chemical peptides, okay, a key. So for me, if let's say it's sadness or dread, okay, let's say I'm following dread. Okay. So I'm woke up, I haven't recognized that I'm in my own bed, my husband's next to me, or my record, and it was like, where am I? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And then all of a sudden I went with the feeling, the chemical peptide feeling, the emotional chemical peptide that, oh, I don't really want to do it today. So that inserted into the receptor, turned the key, it went then, created a channel, then all of a sudden these chemical peptides. Now I'm can think and feel and feel and think and become, and it turns on my cells and tells the community of the rest of my cells that I'm supposed to be dreading today. And then we have other cells. All of a sudden, here we go again. So now we think, oh God, I don't really know. And so then like, and then you follow that dread and you put dread to, oh, I got to get dressed, dread that you got to take a shower, dread that you got to, nobody's home. I gave my willpower to the dread, the chemical peptide that's controlling my cell. Now, when I place my hand in my forehead, I then can bring the blood back up. Okay, that's really good because you want to get yourself out of this state that you put yourself into or allowed, but you need to wake up and see it. So as I have my hand here, the blood comes back up. Even if I don't focus on anything, I start to feel better. Now, but if I really identified myself as this dread, and everything's always a dread, then I can still produce myself to keep believing. But as I'm now focused with intention, I want to heal out this dread. What number is it? I'm going to measure it. And when I do, then all of a sudden, boop, the chemicals that were going into the channel stops, and the key, and then the receptors goes back into the shape, and then it now is calm. So this is like when the memory, and you've got these emotions that come up, this unresolved story, and we tap into her like, oh my gosh, yes, that's it. And all of a sudden we start to address the emotional chemical peptides that are telling about this story, this memory. We can then take off the epi. And as you do, the cell gets a chance to, what? I don't have to be drugged by this emotion. Whew, I'm back. And a lot of you, if you haven't watched my shows on YouTube, you'll see people will sit there and they'll have their hands on the head, or they'll do success hope therapy points, do this, or they'll do SP and rub points, and they move the energy, and they're like, wow, I feel calm. Well, how do you know it? Well, there's peace. My brain's clear. And that's because you have made a choice to use your power on a soul level that says, wait a minute, I don't want to be this anymore. I miss my happy self. I don't have to believe that I'm controlled or be victimized. That's why the genetic determinism is that your genes are just the blueprint. It's the RNA that has everything to do with the epi that sits on, that is the switch. And the switch equals perception. And I'm going to talk about that in Tribe tomorrow, so people can understand even further that you do not have to be a victim of your own genes. You don't have to be a victim. You are already a victim with your own thoughts and your emotions, but your thoughts are controlled by the emotions. And if you take and you dissolve the chemical peptide that has the key inside your cell, and you get to return back to homeostasis, return back to joy, return back. Why doesn't people want that more and more? Because we still have our personal power in insecure. I feel insecure. I feel insane. I feel fear. I feel this is my identity. No, it's not. And your physical sickness doesn't have to be stuck in this particular hell. You get to change it because it didn't change your DNA. Now, if you're body is breaking down, the potential hydrogen of this body is breaking down from a 7.3 down. Now, every place is different, like your stomach's different, a pH and all this, but the main character, the main blood flow that keeps your cells and your organs happy and joyful changes. We're not going to go into history on this either because I want to watch my time. But we were forced to believe things and run with that idea and shun others and call it pseudoscience. Like I keep hearing one in my head over and over and over. So I'm just gonna put Louis Pasteur down, and then I will remember to talk about that later. But at the same time, you have to wake up. Where are you giving your willpower, your life force, your will to be a victim? Now, we do have the archetype of being the victim, but we are supposed to grow and develop that there's a shadow side and there's a negative side. Why in the heck would we need to do that? Because we can't appreciate love, light, we can't appreciate having things, or we can't appreciate having health, or we can't appreciate, like just simple things when a tsunami hit, fresh water, clean space, shelter. Oh, wait a minute. Am I talking about your primal needs that you need to be loved? You need to be believed in? Do you need to be shelter and clean water? And, a lot of people are like, geez, you don't realize the essentials. So you get so complacent, you forget how to appreciate and love that you have. And we got caught up on the outside world, the false reality that I want that more, I want that more. And we forgot what we had. But here's the thing, you also have to have that desire from your soul that wants you to be happy. It already is. It wants you to wake up and say, let's not believe these things. And so the desire to move forward, to create, to find that purpose. We have shoved it. We have shunned it. We have to have our personal life force power. We need to begin to understand that we are in charge. We need to take the pen back from our feelings, because people are going and using their gut instinct, not with their spiritual mindset, their whole self, but just with their ego, false self, the outside self. They don't know how to go in. And even if they go in and think, that's not the same in. And when you go in, when you're stressed, when you're already stressed and 80% is not in your forebrain, and that's the seat of consciousness, I mean, you're not even connecting yourself in the seat of consciousness. You're not even owning this fixed state in time. You're in the past. You're giving me the body, but you're not present with me. You're choosing to choose that time and space. Just imagine. And let's just, like the Adams Project movie, the interesting thing is that if you go back in time or you're going forward in time and you get stuck in that time, but you're this age, you have to be okay. You may not be able to get back to your fixed state, but it's choosing, right? How many times do you go and you're like, you're so upset because you don't get to do your favorite thing. You go and pout. I don't care if I'm 57 and I'm pouting, I'm letting that program control me. I'm already going back in time, back to the future, right? No, you're back in time, and you've gone back and you decided that you're going to be that 3-year-old as the 57-year-old, and you don't even know what time you want to be. So the timeline is very important. So when I'm teaching my students or I'm teaching my clients, let's get you back into the now. Well, I don't like the now. Well, I want to go back to the past. Well, you're choosing to be, your physical body says, I'm here in this space and time, because see, there's no such thing as time and space. But when you start working with dimensions, you will. And that's what's going to happen, is that you're going to start to wake up and go, wait a minute, I need to start to be responsible. Do I want my programs to control me? Do I want my anxiety about the future to control my future? You're living outside yourself. Now, there's no problems remembering the past. But if you are remembering the past and you choose to live there and you gave up on the now and you're like, I ain't looking forward to the future, you just told your telomeres that is in charge of the length of your life to shut down, shut down, shut down. So when your reading is all of a sudden has no track, you're going to die. But you can extend your telomeres as you begin to extend the track of your life. You have the telomeresis. Let me tell you how important this is. You're going to learn all about this in Tribe. But there was a flow about how your DNA spoke. The belief system was just a theory, which was a wrong theory. That DNA only read DNA, RNA, protein. And they found out, and they shunned and they shamed these people that discovered, as they looked into the viruses and they looked into the cells of the biology. And as they look at this, they go, that truth, that dogma is not true. And they have the greatest discovery, but everybody wants to keep believing the same old stuff. Nobody wants to see the new evidence. Nobody wants to see evidence. They only want to see what they want to see or what they've been told. They borrow, but when you start to realize the thing that you believed was not true, this is why all of a sudden people will say, no, you can't do it that way if I can't, or you can't do it because that's not the right thing. And you're doing it, and they say it can't be done, but you're doing it. Do you have to put yourself back to sleep so that they're right, or you won't get hurt? Why do you think there's such a battle to wake up? So you have to find out what love is not. And when you are in that pain, and when you get, whoa, you learn to appreciate. You have gratitude for what you have, and you don't have to be complacent anymore. You don't have to get lazy. You don't have to let your programs run. When you understand that there's an enzyme in the body that transcribes this information from your DNA, the blueprint, and the RNA copies it, and we're working with just the copy. The original is like locked up in a vault. And when you realize this, ow, the RNA gets to be changed, controlled by our thoughts and our emotions. And the more that we are not in charge of our emotions, then we keep falling for it. But if we can learn to be in charge of that emotion and learn to heal it, change that chemical peptide, that simple little chemical peptide, to change it. You have the power to change that epi that sits on top of the cell, that tells the cell how to behave. And when you get to change it, you can change your beliefs, you can change your thoughts, you can change your health, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So I'm here to tell you that your soul is here and you can hear it, and I'm going to teach you how. But you have to first look at how the world on a collective is telling you that you are a victim of your genes, when in fact there's enough evidence in this world to the point where they created a new science called epigenetics that says no to that old central dogma. No, it's not even true. And then when you look at that genetic determinism, no, it's not true. These are choices. When you start to develop and you notice that RNA is running and it takes a copy of your DNA, and all of a sudden you get to choose, your environment gets to choose. You are the environment. You're in how you're thinking, or you're letting the programs control, you're letting the environment to control you. You are changing your body, your health. This is why everybody can have a different shape, sizes, and being. But if you're using it with ego, which is the way we over-identify with pain, suffering, emotions, it's our false self, because we can't get our needs met, or we can't sit there and have safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, the freedom, and we sit there and we are really believing in the pain and the sufferings. That's okay, you're gathering, but if you can hear it, it's time to wake up. What's the awakening? The awakening is you don't have to fall for it anymore. This is why I do this show on determination, that when your hand's on your head or you're tapping and you're moving your brain, you're like, it's like you really know that this is the way your world is, and all of a sudden you're moving the energy and you're changing and taking out the chemical peptide, you're resolving it out, and you're dissolving it down, you're taking the cap, all of a sudden you can resolve to evolve your soul. And you don't have to keep rinse and repeating hell. Any questions? Again, tribal is going to be a good tribal tomorrow. But you need to understand the basics, that your energy, and that you can sit there and you can move that energy. And you can build a different way to protect yourself. So when the storm is happening on the outside, you're sitting there having a cup of peace because you're choosing with your soul, your heart-brain coherence to discern whether you want to put your hand in the fire, or you're discerning that, okay, I respect that's who you want to be, but I don't. Now you're just a catalog of life right now for me to see. I don't really want, that's your monkey's your story. But if you sit there and you have a heart-brain coherence, you're going to say, okay, I'm looking at different things here. I'm going to start to take my pen back. I'm going to start to get my own needs met. I'm going to notice that if I feel insecure, I'm going to heal it out. If I feel insane, I'm going to heal it out. And most of the time we're taught we can't. That's your identity for life. That is a victim mindset. It's not true. Heart and soul says, I feel like me after I heal. And when you begin to understand that benchmark, that you can learn to miss yourself, you can actually tell yourself, well, wait a minute, I'm not being me. I'm being a program. Hi. Nope, you haven't missed the piff. We haven't got there yet. Do you have any questions? Seriously, what I just said, can anybody paraphrase what I'm saying? This is huge. These are big words, but they're not. There are things, learn to find you in your life. Yes, Vicky. Yes. And who is the you? Is it your ego, your fear, or is it your spirit and your love? Where does happiness come from? From within. When your both parts of your brain, two hemispheres are working together, and when you have your heart and your brain working together, what happens? You find your real self, your authentic self, and all of a sudden you have happiness, and you realize that your energies, you were hardwired for joy, and the energies turn on. And when you move this, all of a sudden, I don't care what the hell's going on. You can choose to be happy and not have to be ashamed of it. You can be happy and realize that you can create better and not have to have guilt. You can be happier and you don't have to be shamed for being who you are. You don't have to chase happiness. Happiness is like the moment I wake up this in the morning. Now my body was going, ugh, and I'm like, body, I love you. Let me see if I can move the energy for you. So I know what happiness is. And I don't have to unfold the next thing, even though it's supposed to be like I got more work to do. I don't have to look at it and go, my meaning is to bitch about it and say it's dread and I have to hate it and blah, 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 blah. No, that's a chemical peptide. No. Okay, I'm present as my spiritual self going, my body feels off. Let me see if I can like EFT to change the chemical or move it so that my energy of my brain feels better. I don't have to follow those thoughts, and I don't have to use the emotion. I don't have to think and feel and think and feel in the negative and create a nocebo effect to the point where I have a crappy day. You can turn it around because the moment you wake up, you have a new day to write your life. So today I could have totally done and just be human and screw my spirit and say, forget it, this is going to be a shitty day. Or I can go, how did I present it? What meaning did I just put into it? And did I just go, cancel, clear, delete? Let me move the energy in my brain because I don't need to be in stress because 80% of the blood goes into my limbs. No. I'm going to bring the blood back up. Your hands are electromagnetic, so is your blood. So when you can bring your blood back up to your forebrain, which is the seat of consciousness, but it's how you create reality. It comes from you making a choice. It comes from you. But who's the you that's doing the choosing. If it is your program, then you may not choose joy. Or if you do, joy's hidden in fear, which means there's a strategy. I have to go through all of the shit show just to get to joy. But you can cancel, clear, delete that. You can change and rewrite the way your cells operate you, your 50 trillion cells, you get to rewrite because you get to change what chemical peptide goes into your cells. If you believe that you have to be dread, you're going to turn and it's going to activate it. And then all of a sudden it'll go in through that receptor into the channel. And then the cell goes, this is how I'm supposed to be. And then the rest of it. So then you're feeling, and all of a sudden you're thinking about how you're feeling. Well, that must be accurate. No, it's a program. You can, there's nothing wrong with your survival self. We needed it when we were being chased by lions. But the stress we have today is we don't have to be stressed. We have to upgrade this. And when you're sitting there over identifying with pain, you're letting go of control. You're giving your willpower away to your false self, not even to a person. So you got to decide. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you're saying I'm full of shit, then you've never healed. You've never gone to the point of how I do the healing. You never have gone in and decided to do EFT, which disrupts you need to create an interference pattern. What do you mean I'm 10? Because if you're like, I'm in a shitty ass show, then guess what? I'll give you a point. But you got to decide. I watch people take, and they're like, okay, I can't handle this. And I'll say, okay, let's look at this. Let's grab L1D. And so they go in pushing in, they're doing this. And then they're sitting in it. But then they go, well, it's because of somebody else's fault. Or they're going into reasoning and excuses when they're pulling yourself out of the healing. And you're saying, I got to keep my misery. Then it's there to protect you somehow. Then we can't take that safety blanket off until you make that choice of being aware of. You understand? So seeing others that are not healing are really evident when you're around these people. Yes, and then we don't have to shame them. We have to blame them. We want to save them, but it's not our job. If their soul is not ready to hear it, all you do is you have to live as the mentor. You have to live as the evidence that you're ready to take charge of your world. And if they want to know, they can ask. But if not, these people are going to weed in and out of your life, but don't give up on yourself. So if you can learn to measure, I don't like myself right now, I hate myself, you can find a point, you can create a disruption, but you got to make the choice. You can take your energy, your personal life force out of that false identity, that false story. But it's real. You can't take that away. I didn't say it wasn't real and it didn't happen. But you get to choose whether you want to keep living in the past because how long did it happen? And you're just, it's right. It happened 2 years ago. You have not moved forward. You have not chose this fixed state. So if let's say you were 40 now and 2 years ago you were 38, you're stuck at 38. You need to switch into your timeline. You need to switch in the now. And I'll tell you, I've gone through a lot of hell that I know it's hard. Shut up. I hate you. You have to be in charge of that chemical peptide. So when I discovered what happens with the body when you work with it, and when you make a choice with your consciousness and your thoughts, and then I found proof other people are doing it. I just called it something else. I get around my parents and feel misery. Yes, because you have to be as that program. But if you can learn to keep healing, how you keep believing and how that you're supposed to show up this program, and you start healing up that program, then all of a sudden you will not have to be that. They can be that all they want. But you also don't have to be there either. But if you feel like you have to do things, you need to heal the have tos. You need to heal the programs that control you. You guys understanding a little bit more now? You do not have to give your personal life force power to a person that can pimp you and put their ideas in your head, and the next thing you know, you're doing it. because you have low self-esteem, you have low confidence, you have nothing, and that certain words will hurt you to the point where you're like, well, I can't let them down, and I can't see these belief systems. I can't let them down. I don't want to feel this pain. I don't want them to call me names. I don't want. Fear is running the show. You need to learn to stand up for yourself, not to that person, but to come inside and stop believing with that perception, because the switch that controls the way your body is going to react, the way you're going to react, that behavior you have is the switch. You're in charge of that switch. You take your pen back and you change that switch, which is the emotion, the chemical peptides, and the belief systems, that words and contents that make you believe in nothing else but that. And you don't believe me? How'd you learn to walk? You observed. You did it. Your brain made a program. Why would you want to unwalk? Well, I don't. I find a lot of benefits. But I also did not need to be misery all the time and let people beat me down because I was afraid to be wrong. And it's okay to be wrong. And that I have now sat there and realized we need to include the spine. Yes, the spine. I've always included the brain. I always included the cells. But you have to understand that when you're first being this born, you're developing a brain and a spine. Physically, all those nerves are picking up. Your receptors are your sight, your hearing, your smell, your taste. We think we only have 5. We actually have more than that. We have like 10. I'm working on the proprioception of where am I in the space of time, my movement. I was always afraid to move because I was going to get beat down, or I was always afraid to move because I always had to do what they tell me, because if I didn't and I ruin the world, they're going to be mad and they're going to throw a fight. And then it was just easier to just, okay. As a kid is like, okay, just do it, and then you get to be yourself later. Well, then that where makes you drive you crazy, because when you get done with taking care of your kids and you get 1 hour to yourself and that's not enough, you don't have sacred space, and then you just feel like you're driving yourself insane. Not that you don't love your kids, it's that you're not even a part of your own world. And you have a program that tells you you cannot be part of your world until everybody's in sleep. And then you stay up late and then you don't get any sleep and your brain's messed up and your body's, oh my God. Where do we stop it? Right here, right now. You need to switch your perception, but you can't switch your perception if the chemical peptide is telling you that. Ah! So we have to learn these little bit of things in order to go. And so when you are in that shitty place, you can go, I miss myself. I want myself back. And I am more determined to get past this because I know it doesn't control me anymore. Your personal life force is how you use it. Metaphysics. The nature of being. What are you being today? Somebody says, what is the doctor of what? Metaphysics. The nature of being. How do you act? How do you be? What controls it? How does your body work? How does the body work with the chemical peptides of emotions? How is the nature of relationships? What are you being? Anyway, we're going to have a wonderful show. So if you're here and you want a reading, what I've noticed is that when I met people that have discovered what I discovered, because again, you just have to follow along and you can get it by studying. I followed spirit. What is meridians? What is energy? What is hands-on healing? That's where it started, was hands-on healing. I used to be really into the Bible, not to Jesus jam anybody, but to go, oh, I want to be close to God. And then when I realized that when my mother got, I had ditched spirit, and because my boyfriend died and it just didn't make sense. And then I had that psychic thing that I knew he was going to die before he died, seconds before he died, or got in that accident. I was like, I want nothing to do with the spiritual world. But then my mother got cancer and it was like, wait a minute. Spirit, I need you because I can't handle this. I remember my body and everything was horrified. And it was because I was so attached to this and I loved her so much that, and who would I be without her? And I realized I was the I. I don't want them to go because who am I going to be? Yeah, I didn't want them to go because I love them. I love talking and hanging out. But I had to heal the I had to heal this over identification, this attachment that I had, that I didn't have me at all. And so when I started to look for things to help my mother, it was all about the physical, moving energy. The Bible says hands-on healing. I said, prove it. Spirit has not done nothing but proved it ever since. And it has taken me far away from religion, but closer to God. And you want God? Have a heart-brain coherence and be in love. And the moment you're in love, and not love equals messy, love equals pain. No, that's ego stuff. But love. And when you really have this, then when somebody, has a talking to you and you don't want to do it, and you can stop, you can heal it out, and that'll change that attraction factor, that relationship. And that's what my new show is going to be about. I'm going to still do the show on Mondays, this time, in this place, but I'm also going to now add another one. And it's going to be talking about how to live in the 5D world, the fifth dimension. People are like, well, there's no such thing. Wake up. It has a whole new language. It's your soul needs to be involved. Your consciousness needs to be involved. Your heart-brain coherence needs to be involved. And that means you have to learn how to heal these chemical peptides. You have to learn what the new language is so that you can choose to have a different relationship. Ah, yes, Nichole, wonderful. Yes. So some people have, hold on, I gotta put it down. So what people can do is that when they, like, for instance, throughout the week, you go to YouTube and you make comments on the reels, you hit the love button, or you make comments on the videos after the show's even done, or older shows. It tells me, I put your name in a drawing. If there's all these other different things, mentioning Medicine Woman Solution, an @ symbol on Facebook, or like I've been noticing that if you do share and you put @ together, I can tell that you shared the video in Facebook, which that ability was gone. Now it's back. Okay. So I'm like, oh my goodness. And so all these different ways. So Nichole, one, it is going to be exciting, but you're probably going to be in bed, but you might be awake. Now, who won last week? One of my moderators, I'm sure, took a picture of it. I did. I know Nichole won. Who else won? Because even if you don't get, because I'm going to take time off and, the wheel of life, balance my life. I'm making myself a priority. I'm making my husband a priority. And so what that means is that you're going to have to learn to use your wings, watch old shows if you must, but insight in mind somewhere, start believing in the power of you. So you can't have a positive life by watching negative things. You have a choice. So I will still collect names, for things that you've done while I'm on my vacay, to say, whatever you want to call it, and self-care. Then what happens is that you have a chance for the next month. And anybody that hasn't used it, it's okay, because I'm extending it. The expiration date is not going to be the end. It'll be the end of what, I haven't decided if it's going to be the end of October or end of November that you'll use it up. But I extend it. So if you join Tribe today and you paid 36, then you can avoid paying 42 in the long run, because you're locking yourself in. But you may are like, well, you're not going to, are you going to do tribal? I don't know. It's whatever spirit says. And if I don't, we're going to extend it. So if we don't do tribal for 2 weeks, no big deal. You can go back and watch all the old videos. You can learn to step up for yourself. But what happens is, let's say the date is that, oh my God, my expires in 2 weeks. I've wasted. No, that's ego talking. I will extend it 2 weeks. You're not losing anything. We are all working together. Yeah. So okay, so let me look. So last week, let's see, Nichole Johnson and April Lynn and Linda is left. Okay, so we have Linda Love, April Lynn, and Nichole Johnson. Those are the three that have not used their their winnings yet. Nichole's going to come on today. So she will. April, Lynn, from my understand, she has a chat. Chances are she's working. And Linda Love, so no problem. And if she's not here, she can do that, when I get back in October. But the new show is going to be important because it's going to be talking about dimensions, talking about relationships, just like this. But this one is going to be more, they're going to be similar, but not similar. Do you understand? So, Angela, you also, my understanding is that you also have one. Is that correct? I don't really. Yes. So, Angela, you still have one. Angela, you can use that today if you choose. So, Nichole's coming on, Amy's coming on, and April Lynn has a chat. So, we're going to jump right over because I know that she has a busy life. And this woman, she gets up at the butt crack of dawn before leaving light even appears, and she goes to work. And but she still makes it to the show, and I love it. I love the fact she's so dedicated to herself. This isn't about me; it's about herself. She's seeing her growth. She's seeing it. So, you ready, Miss April Lynn? I just gotta make sure you did not. Hold on. Oh, that wasn't it. I just want to make sure there wasn't a question about. Did you just want spirit? Okay, gotcha. And just double checking. All right. That's why spirit had me, because I knew that I was going to have to do this puzzle thing. I'm looking at how that you have an alarm system. And I said, so what's happening? And this is on the physical. And I go, no, there's an emotional chemical peptide that says I'm supposed to be on alert. And it's a deep program that you develop currently around 4. And they said that what's happening is it makes you believe that you are deficient. And they said that as soon as you begin to feel a certain amount of frequency from the outside world, it turns on. I said, how many? Just one. What is it? They said, as soon as you feel like the big word is disgusted, if people are disgusted or you're disgusted, then that energy around you, there's a nervousness that you want to discover this, but you don't quite want to. Make sense? Miss April? You're really hesitant. And I'm asking who's really hesitant? It's your 3-year-old self. And I said, why are you hesitant? Because that's the way mommy likes me. Does that make sense? Yes, I feel that in my left knee. I'm gonna say, is that what's affecting it? Yes. She calls it the yuck energy. Yes. So now you can identify and you can say, you can measure that. And they said, but here's the thing, it is in the thoracic. And I said, where? And they said it's at T4. So like I said, I was including the spine, and so I'm just going to get my information that I've been. I had to sit down and rewrite this. Let me see if we can find it. So the brain only sees through that through our sensory motor interaction, and what happens is they said that you had on T7. So this is about your adrenals. But if where else, and they said T4, and they said it has everything to do with the gallbladder. Interesting. That's very interesting. So tell me more. They said that you are supposed to shut yourself down and blame yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what's happening is that you can't identify yourself as the real April because you have this belief. And therefore, it creates only the one perception. Your identifier is that yuck. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, we're going to have you start doing R2D, okay? But what this means is that it's about arrested development. Now, you're going to find a corner of a door jamb, or you can take your own hand, or you can find some type of, like, I don't have it here, like a stick or something. But if you know exactly where T4 is, and then where T9 is on your spine, you're going to sit there and you're going to hold your head like this and tap. Okay. If you go to a door jamb, you make sure you do the left of the spine, the right of the spine. Stay off the spine. Just start tapping, but you want to tap those areas. But with the intention in mind, you got to find the right words though. It is, I have to be this so mom is happy, but I don't know what words you have. And if you can't get the words, then go to right wrist, second position. Is that what you want? No, hold on. R2D, yes, because we had to get you out of that. Because you're like, where'd my happy go? But it's the rest of development. And I'm supposed to be the dark night of the soul because that's how I've memorized myself. And maybe you'll get the statement that I'm looking for. And when you do, and you start getting clarity, if it is in the that I supposed to remain disgusted by people, like, do you ever, this is very interesting. Again, they want you to just go over to the door jamb, even if you can't get the right intention, and start to tap both sides of your spine. You can just put your hand in your head, start tapping the spine, however you choose to do it. Once you've done the R2D and you tap the spine, I want you to go over to L2S, left wrist, second position soft. And I want you to go, there's a hidden story. And I want you to like imagine that you can't see it and you can't understand it. What are you talking about? I can't understand what you're saying. But there's a hidden story. And it doesn't have to be tumultuous, it just could be the scared little girl. But you have said, I don't want to be me, use my life force or do this and that, because there's something on the outside, the threat on the outside. So you shut yourself down. She says, I feel that program of fear that my mother has on autopilot to go into it. Yes. And what, by having her say those words, that's also part of R2D. And then she says, I caught myself saying, I don't understand why they do that. Yes. Now, that's a key point. When she says that, this is where she can also do L2S because it's part of the hidden story. She's already got the content. Now, if you happen to do that, and that first part, that first sentence you did, is just that I can feel that autopilot that I'm supposed to be in fear, or that they're in fear, but I automatically go in fear. That's where they want you to make sure you go down, starting with the thoracic, go down to T4. Make sure you tap both sides and you holding your head. We need to make that brain and that spine say, we don't need that. We don't need to keep creating this. It's what's helping to break the habit even further. Then they said that they want you to do T9, okay? And this has a lot to do with where you're not supposed to self-soothe this. You're supposed to be that yuck, okay? So you've identified with yourself that yuck for so long that you're going to go right wrist, third position soft, and you're going to sit there. But you wanted to work on T9. Again, locate where it's at, go find a door jamb to bounce your spine on as you're holding that position, or you take and however it is to like tap it, or even have your husband get in there or tap on it. Your body, your brain, and your spine are ready now. There's my elfish part of me again. You're ready. You're absolutely ready. That your brain and your spine. Now, see, we have heart brain coherence, but we have to understand the brain and the spine because this is how we've put ourselves together as creating ourselves to have a little physical human body. And the epi at this point is I don't I know this is the beauty of you, Miss Lynn. Oh, it's so close, right? But her soul is like, okay, we don't want to get caught up into any of that. Is let's heal it. Let's tap it. Let's heal it. Really focus, get a measure, get all of it. And when you're doing it, just say thank you, spirit. And then you say, show me that it has changed, or show me where I'm still hooked. And then you're going to use your spiritual self to observe. You can do these points again and again, but you should only have to use them maybe once or twice, because we're changing the way the brain sees. And then, of course, when you're done, make sure you hook up so you can get your giggles on. Get those flows. That was a really good read. I agree with that, Robyn. It was a really good read and a great info. I know she's ready. I know she's ready. If you want a piff, I see Sherry. Sherry, you're still here. I've got your name down so that we can do the duck race. If we have enough people, we do have 3 piffs up for grabs. I'm going to open up and see if there's anything else that people want. Remember, this is where you're going to be working on your deep emotional stuff, and that's why this show is important. And we will not be doing Thursday's show for that. You understand? So, okay, just double checking for everybody. All right, got it. And is Morgan here? And usually Crystal and all that. Remember, if you want to piff, I'll put your name down and we will play the duck race. Ah, there is Morgan. So Sherry and Morgan. Sherry, are you still here? We have Tamara. Good to see you guys. Really is. April says, I'm ready. Thank you. Yes. 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 I think this is going to be a huge one for you because when I go and set my self-care and then reset my wheel of my life, what's happening, I think you're going to find out that you're really going to be able to see that program. Remember, as you're healing, you always have that bending machine, the habit, replicate. That button that was tiny is now huge, and it's like that's all you're going to be able to see. That's okay if you hit it every now and then. Go back and heal. We have Crystal. Crystal Allen says she wants to have the piff too. Oh, 1111, yes, it's beautiful. Okay, anybody else? Nichole, are you coming on, babe? Because if you're coming on, then I would like to let that piff be for somebody else, unless you want to pay to be in the duck race. But otherwise, or however that goes. Okay, so we've got Sherry, Morgan, Tamara, Crystal. Anybody else? What we're gonna do is, Nichole, if you're ready, I'll bring you on. If you're ready. Okay, it's up to you. Yep, I got Crystal, Tamara, Morgan, and Sherry. Is Sherry still here? Did she leave? Oh, there's Vicky. There you are, hon. Vicky down too. Oh. I'm not sure which in order. The spirit always has it at a different order. So we'll see. Next time what with the duck race or coming on? Because do I send you a link or not, hon? I just need more information. My brain didn't not in sync with that. April Lynn says blessed and in the flow, and then set had 7 green lights in a row. Oh my God, I know that feeling. Yes, I know that feeling. Robyn wants one. Robyn, awesome. Okay. So Nichole, are you coming on, or is that a next time? I will come on next show. Gotcha. Okay, that'll be in the middle of October. So we're gonna cross your name off there. We'll put your up there. We put Nichole's name down for the PIF. Now you don't have to come on a video. You can just have audio. Just so you know. Just so you know, you don't have to have the video. Okay. We are going to I think I have enough people for the duck race, and we're gonna do this duck race now. Oh, thank you for the fours. For the fours. Love, 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 too. Remember, we want to get I'd love to just get to 1,000 subscribers. So okay, you want to do it? Oh, she said she will. Excellent. Oh, I love it. Okay, yeah, you don't have to do. Love it. Let me go ahead. We're gonna do the duck race. Give you a few minutes to get yourself in gear. And once we've done that, then we can bring you on. So we're gonna find out who the winners are for the duck race. Now, Angela, now where'd she go? Because she must have stepped out because normally she's in the duck race. Is Angela going to be coming on since she has won one? Angela, do you know you can come on? You don't have to have video. You can just have audio. Do you want to come on? You won that free, or did you just want your name in the PIF? You decide. You decide. Okay. Let me set this up. Let me get the names in. And just let me know, Angela, what you want to do. Just tell me what you would like to do. You can just put my name. Okay, so you're gonna wait until October to use your free video? We have Nichole, Robyn. We have Vicky. Is Sherry, did you stay? Oh, there you are. Sherry. I just was wondering where you are. Excellent. We have what? Hello, hello. I am Dr. B. That's me. I wonder why that all of a sudden decided to kick in now. Talk about a delay and a half. Okay, so here we go. Oops, I lost my whole screen. Hold on. Oh, Nichole, Robyn, Vicky, Sherry. We have Crystal. We have Tamara. Oops. We have Morgan. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. I got all 7. Nichole, Robyn, Vicky, Sherry, Crystal, Tamara, and Morgan. And what we're gonna, good night, hon. And so what we're gonna do, let me just get this screen up. There we go. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for getting this up. And we're going to hit done. We're gonna hit set. Oh, very good. Now, we're going to make sure all of you can see it. If you'd like to see the duck race, come on over to YouTube to Medicine Woman Soultion. That's Soultion, and you can go ahead and watch right along with us. And I forgot to record today, even with my little sign. That's okay. I'm like, why can't I share? Because you haven't got the button. There we go. We should all be able to see it now. Look at everybody has cute costumes on. Morgan, you are pink or purpley striped. Tamara, you are beautiful. You got red and yellow and blue. I don't know who you are, but you are amazing. Oh, well, it's a little too late. Yes, we need to take Nichole out because she's coming on. Duh. Good point. Hold on. Stop. Stop. We're going to edit the list real quick. We're going to take out Nichole because she is coming on. And she don't have to do video. Let's try it again. Oh, we got to hold this for other costumes now. Morgan, you have a little queen crown on with beautiful lipstick. So let's get us started. Oh, hold on. What's happening? Another ad. What is happening? Oh, that's not it. Not letting me take it down. There it is. Okay, let's try this again. Ah, here we go. Everybody's quacking along. Morgan has got her little beak out and she's paddling away. I can't tell. Crystal's coming forward. Tamara's coming forward. And everybody's starting to roll along. It looks like Crystal has got it. Yeah, she was streaking. Call her the streak. She has no clothes on. Has no problem. We accept all kinds here. So now, here we go again. We have everybody. Yeah, Vicky. Come on, paddle your little feetsies, everybody. What we got? Tamara over here. She's purple. Robyn, you got pink with these wonderful stripes. And then we got a chevron for Sherry. Here comes Morgan with her little queen. Oh, Morgan. Morgan's I gotta have it this time. So good job. Good job. Good job. Oh, you're wearing pink that I changed it on you. Okay, here we go. Let's find out who is going to get this. The battle for the last one. The battle for the last one. So Vicky sticking out and Tamara, Vicky. She's all brown with cute little, I think she's a bear. She's got these cute little ears. Tamara's all purple and she's pulling right ahead. Sherry, you're chevron, pink chevron. Come on, Robyn, Tamara. It looks like Tamara's caught it. Oh, awesome. Okay, so thank you all for participating, and congratulations to the winners. That was Crystal, Morgan, and Tamara. Now the hang in there as I go and get Nichole and making sure it's evenly spaced out. And everybody says congratulations, winners. We love that. Now we do have a surprise for Robyn. Robyn, Pay It Forward has come through. If that's my understanding. Let's see here. Yeah, I think it is. Let me just double check. We have, yeah, Robyn. Yeah, I believe someone has paid for it yet. Can't see it. There it is. It just came in. Yeah. Somebody paid a piff for Robyn. Robyn, sure. Now put down chat and hang in there. You will also get yours read as long with the 3 winners, Crystal, Morgan, and Tamara. Oh, don't push the wrong button. Don't push the wrong button. Don't push the red button. So let's see here. So we're gonna have something to do. Okay. Whoops, Crystal Allen, I put in the wrong one. No, that's wrong. Sorry, honey. I sent the wrong link to Crystal Allen. Crystal Allen, sorry. No. I'm gonna have to. You just only want a regular piff. Let's try that again. I'm gonna type Morgan in one more time. Nichole, I mean, there's Nichole. Why didn't that come up? It is her name. Okay, let's see if this works. So sorry about that, Crystal. I will get to your question though. Ugh, I don't understand how. Okay, yep. I see your name. So I sent it to you, Nichole. Just go ahead and let me know. Or just go ahead and come on and hopefully if you need codes or anything else, I will put that in there. Gracious sakes. Gracious sakes. We do have Ayme coming on and Robyn, you have that one. So let me know if you want Spirit Speaks, of course. So there's those that paid. She said, "Oh, thank you." So she's receiving it with great love. Feel that love. So there is this energy exchange that we're putting it out there. Okay, thank you, Spirit. We will hold that with grace and ease. It's nice. Cross that off. Spirit guide, no problem. We will do that. And then Morgan has her question. So waiting for, I never know if that's even working right. Let me see. Thank you, Miss Crystal. I appreciate it. Nichole, okay, so you're not seeing it there. Oh, I figured she would. So I need to go over and see if I can send it another way for you. Let me open this up. Let me go here. Nichole Johnson. Nichole Johnson. I'm going to see if I can send the link another way. Let me see. There's two ways I can do it. Huh. All right. See if this works. Yes. Okay. I'm going to send it this way and see what happens. There you go. All right. I sent a link, whether it's in Messenger or if it is in Facebook Messenger. So then it must be set into the wrong thing. There's nobody here. She said she's in. Go back out. This is weird. I don't see your name anywhere. It says there's only me here. Did I send the wrong link? I don't know how I would do that. I'm going to hit copy the link again. Remember, if you're using an old one, that might be tribal, and I'm not using the tribal. The code does change. The code does change. So I have it on a different one. So back out of that and come to the other code number. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would say that is a clue. Very good, Morgan. Absolutely. You're getting this. You're getting in. So sometimes when we think it's like Zoom, I have 4 or 5 different codes. And so we have one that stays strictly for tribal and says that you're another meeting in progress. You need to okay, come over to Messenger or Facebook Messenger and just click on the link I sent you because that's the correct code number. And from here, it looks like you didn't even see those yet. So I'm not sure what link you followed. We'll see what happens. So sometimes we can choose the same program thinking it's the right one when in fact it's not. I think that's the clue. And the reason it says I'm in another meeting is because I'm in a different code. I'm in a different timeline. So thank you, Spirit, for correcting this. Is that back all the way out and say join, or back all the way out. And I want you to come over and look at what I sent you. Click on that. And if that don't work, I can give you the actual code numbers. Okay. See how that works there. Ooh, it is a good day. Remember, you have every opportunity to come onto the show. You don't have to do video. You can have audio only. You can have a chat. It's up to you. And if you want to give a gift, like buy me a coffee type thing, you're more than welcome to send it along and say thank you. This is a donation, I thought about that because I want to save up money to buy a new board, upgrade my board, but Mask and Spirit how it wants me to do. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna I don't know what it's just clicking on the link but goes to so far and then says it's invalid. So you might have an iPhone, you may have something else. Let me go ahead and just get the numbers. See, there's always a will, there's a way. So Spirit, thank you very much. Have her back out all the way. If she's using Chrome browser, that would be even better. But I'm going to send you, it says join a meeting. If you can just find the link that says join a meeting, then I will give you the code to type in at the ID number, and then we'll give you the passcode. Okay. And just 1 second, because it's too late to memorize it. So I'm going to write it down. And my brain is doing good. It did not convert the numbers. So if we go oh. Yeah, I did good. Numbers match. We're going to see. So even if you feel like this, you could get a lot of anxiety. No, it's okay. One thing I learned about from Australians over here, because I was in Michigan for so long, and you would go wait in line, and or you get people get mad at you and whatever it is, you're like, ah, over here, you come up and they go like, no, we're looking at you. The rest can wait. We'll take care of them when it's their turn. And so when you would be your turn, if it takes 10 minutes, it takes 10 minutes. They're not going to sit there and go and worry and fear. Oh, huh. But they will look around if they need to open another line. But the energy of how the perception and the reality of how people function with it is so different than when I was in Michigan. And I just was like, I need to adapt that. I need to adapt that because it helps hold space for people. It really does. Let's see if we can get her mic working so everything else is working well. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. My technology is as reluctant as me to have a reading. So apparently I need to hear this.
All right, what can we do for you? Is there anything specific, or do you want Spirit to just jump right in, hun?
Well, I guess I always ask for spirit, but there is a question that I've got that I've made a decision, and I don't know if it's the right decision, but basically I have decided not to play softball. I went out to the first training. I went with the expectation of what I wanted and set my boundaries for what I wanted to do as far as for my physical body. And I went out there with the intention to just play on base and play in a low grade. And when I got there, they only had 2 teams instead of 3, enough people for 2 teams. And I was sitting on the bench because I had a sore back, and I was sitting next to the president, who all night badgered me and basically told me that I was going to be the full-time pitcher, and scared the crap out of me and made me think, no, 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 no. And then I've been fighting this. Am I just resisting, for the wrong reasons or whatever? But I just keep going back to the fact that I've gone and seen the chiro. I've had it mapped out what I need to do for my recovery. And I know that my body, and I know that I am not physically able to pitch full time. So I'm just going to say I want to sit out this season and get my health and my back under control. And I want to volunteer at the club because I've encouraged a friend to try and play who's never, ever played before. So I'm still going to go and support her. But my intention is to then play next year if I'm physically able to. And I'm not sure whether I've made the right decision. So I guess it would be handy if Spirit could give me some advice.
Absolutely. And I'm glad we brought this up because it was on my mind. It had come in my mind as soon as I said, hey, Nichole, you got a thing. And Spirit had said so. And so the trouble of getting into the alignment, and that was a clue. So the very first thing is that and I'm proud of you for knowing that you're a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual being. And you are here to heal the mental and emotional and help along the spirit. And now you said that you go into chiro, which I totally agree to do because I had to put off what I wanted. But because I need all of me to show up, and that's what you're doing. And I really feel like that was a very strong, healthy decision that you are going to get yourself prepared. Now, a person is going to look on the outside and see what you can do, or they have a need to fill, and then they're going to take and badger you. Okay, so first of all, you don't need that duress. So there is another plan in play. Now, I want to tell you why he started to badger you in some degree, and that is, one, you had this beautiful dream that I want to go back out and I want to play ball again. So you have this dream. So you put it into the universe and you ordered it from the Amazon universe that I love pitching, I love doing this, and that's what I'd like to do. Spirit says, okay, done. Bink. Okay. But now you realize the physical body is needing to catch up with your ideas. And so you're ready to prepare instead of set yourself back. But you did not cancel that order to the universe. And so then you sit next to somebody that has an agenda like, oh, I need to fill this, I need to do that. Oh, I saw what you've done. You're perfect. And so they're going to convince you. So you're like, but I want to be the one that's holding the pen. I want to do the personal. I don't want to be duress. And so you're saying goodbye to your dream, but you didn't say, I'm going to cancel that dream for now and I'm going to do it when I'm better. Okay. So you can practice in your mind, you can do all of this and support yourself. But at the same time, you know there's a part of you that it says, I have doubt. Now, the doubt is what you're actually meant to heal. Okay. So your heart is saying, I know I'm confident I can do it, but I know physically I'm not going to be able to do it much because my body is saying ouch. Okay. So first of all, we got to have that our brain not fall for doubt or fear or somebody else's plan. So you don't want to give away your power. So we got to get you back into the alignment. And so you would end up doing like right now you have this doubt, yes or no?
Yeah, definitely. And the things that, I guess I've been trying to justify my decision by remembering 6 years back, or 2019, so 5, when I literally walked out of a depressive state with no physical stamina, and I went out on the field to play, and I was backup pitcher, and I literally came home injured and sore and spent days recovering. So I kept going back to that, thinking I wasn't in this shape then, and I struggled, and I didn't pitch full time. And I know that I'm going to be they're going to try their best to coerce me, because I tested the waters by saying to her, so who are your pitchers for these teams? And she said, one has just had a baby, and 4 weeks ago, but she's coming out. And we don't have one for the second team. And she looked at me and smiled. And I said, I was hoping you'd tell me you had 6 pitchers. And she goes, oh, that's hilarious. She goes, in this division, everyone finds out there's someone that pitches. We grab them straight away. And I was like, okay, it's like that, is it? And then I had these visions of, oh, Nichole, I'm sorry, the A grade pitcher can't pitch this week, so you've got to pitch A grade, when I wanted to play E grade. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be forced to do that, because I will get out there with something to prove, because I'm competitive and I want to prove to myself I can do it. But I know I'm not ready mentally, physically to put in the time.
Let's get you back into alignment with this. Okay. So right now we know it's what number is it? 10 is like, oh, I'm confused. I'm this, I'm doubting. I don't want this. I'm being pressured. What number are you at?
I think it's about an 8.
Okay. So the thing is that we're going to do is we're going to first move the energy in your mind. Okay. So, oh, really? Oh, okay. So you're so far, I feel like your destiny, so your knees, we're gonna go down by the knee area, because it's like you have to blame the body because you didn't do it right. It's like the body is taking the hit. I said, so this is the thing we're gonna do. Okay. So we got to get your immune system to not have to feel like there's interference patterns and that everybody's going to pressure you. So you're going to start with the left side first. Okay. Go down your big toe, and I need you to go into where that bump is, and I need you to use your magnet. We need to release this. So use your magnet or your hand 24 times, 12 on each side, and then you're going to deeply rub. Then you're going to do the right side. Okay. Now, as she's doing this, her electromagnetic energy is that her body, the RNA, is saying that it has to be shaped like this. Now, she's already made the desire that she wants to get healthier. And we want the body to be able to be supporting this, but we can't if the body is locked in this position. Okay, so what she's doing is electromagnetically, we're changing the way that cell is being holding its, this is the way I'm supposed to be. Okay, so now once she's done that, and then we're going to, okay, good. Great.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Now, is it still an 8? Because if it is, no big deal.
I think 7 came in my head.
Okay, so now I want you to hold R3D, okay? And I want you to, I'm not going to give you any words except for, I want to go there, but I hesitate. I want to go there, but I know that they're going to pressure me. Do you understand? I want you to feel how you can't move. Okay, so you're going to hold R3D. What number is that?
7.
Okay. Now just sit there and focus on it. That's what she's going to do. Now, as she's focusing, she can re-listen to this later and not worry about it now because it's being recorded. Okay. So right now, all of your energies are unhooked. She's looking at this. Very good. Very good. Very good. Gotcha. All right. So one of the things that she can do when she gets done is that she can feel that 7. She can take herself back and she can put her hand on her head, or she can hold the point that she has now, but she can go over to a wall and start to locate. And if she can locate T, because it really sits in her spine, very, very, very super, super strong from what I can see. And it's T8. So, usually you use your fingers going from down, and she can locate T8. And it's mainly the right side of the spine that the energy is like, I can't. And so this is part of her history of like, I can't. And she knows that she wants to show up for herself. So she can, after she, when she gets off here, she can go and hold that point, or just her hand up there. Feel how she knows it. It may not be as strong emotionally, but physically it's like, okay, the body's going to hurt, or the body's, so now she's going to be careful because her body she don't have to bump hard, just enough of a tap. You don't overdo it. And she can just bounce on the right side of the spine at T8. And I'll give her one more step. If she's doing it, she can take and go on the left side first, and it'll be this point right here. That's large intestine. And she can rub this. Okay, she can rub this as she's tapping on the right side, and then do that about 30 times. Breathe in and out, because this is going to help the flow of the spine. And then you're going to go over and you're going to rub the other one and tap. Again, breathing in and out about 3 times so everything moves. She just had a small epiphany that I can see. I don't know if she can see it, but now the body's going, but I believe in the deficiency because the pain is real. The lack of is real. Oh, that's okay, because she's also afraid of being bold, because she's like, my body is not like it used to be. And she's got the outside that believes in her. But she also knows that, there she goes. Keep holding. What number do you have right now?
I'd say it was a 4. I think it's important to add, while I was thinking, while I was healing then, one of the biggest things that's come up, and I think the thing that has scared me the most, which was the epiphany. When I was pitcher back in the day, I pitched underarm because I was never confident to pitch windmill, and it held me back. I pitched underarm the whole time when I played 5 years ago, and practiced windmill with my husband on the beach. I killed it. Every time we went on the beach and we practiced, I was awesome. But I was too scared that I wouldn't be able to do it in a game. And our very last game, my coach specifically said to me before the game, Nichole, I want you to pitch windmill. And I told him, okay, we got on the game. My pitching was off. He signaled to me from the bench, and I froze. And I just went, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. So I just didn't do it. I just kept pitching, and I kept going bad, and I didn't trust myself, because I thought I was going to, it wasn't about that I wasn't going to get strikes. I was actually worried I was going to hit somebody, and I didn't feel confident that I could actually, that I'd practiced enough on the actual field. So, for me, the beach is one thing, but to be doing it on the field is another. So that's what I think it is, because she said to me, well, you do pitch windmill, don't you? And I'm like, yes. And then I'm like,
why'd you say that?
Why did I say that? Shit. And then I'm like, no. And I think, for me to actually play and be the main pitcher, I'm going to have to put in a lot of practice time. And I don't want to do that, because I want to concentrate on my crystal business. So for me, I'm weighing up what's more important. I can still go and participate, support my friend, and I can still do my business, and I can still play next season. So for me, it's like I haven't pulled away. I've just changed how I'm going to do it.
Exactly. So you are going to after we're done, 'cause time's up. But I want you to do R3D. I'm glad you got that epiphany. Thank you, Spirit. Do you feel any different right now?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm at about a 3 or a 4, but obviously I'm going to continue. But
Yes,
no,
and you're
I
gonna
feel
continue,
much
but
better.
you're gonna continue with epiphany and focus on the fear of being bold and how you know. Okay, look for the snapshot. That's
Okay.
why that's why I said, "Ooh, you just had the epiphany," because this is where you're believing a lie.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you're just going to look at it and you're just going to observe. If you start self-justifying, say, okay, apparently I'm not ready. That's fine. Then you can go down to R2D, right wrist, second position deep. Okay. Instead of right wrist, third position deep, you go just like move your thumb up. And you're going to notice that I have lived in the dark night of the soul, misery, depression, all of this has my identity. So your identity is telling you that you can't do it. So this is where you're going to break into R2D, remeasure, feeling where'd my happy go? Everything's miserable. My body's miserable. And this came about because you had this doubt and this fear of being bold that the body said, how do we support her? And the brain says, well, we're going to take her out. We're going to have her think and feel and be in this misery. Okay. So this identity does not have to be there. Now, you may be afraid of going, well, if I do that, then I'm going to have to do it. And if you go in there, now you can work on a deeper core, which is left wrist, first position deep, and feel how I can't be confident because I'm going to get crushed. So only do it backwards. You can try to do it with L1D first, then R2D, then R3D, but you need to heal those layers first. So you're going to have to heal backwards and wait for the epiphany pops. And when you do, write them down and give them a number because you locked it on the way down and you locked it on the way up. Okay. And so that's why we had to take and say, okay, can we release the body to do this so that she can show up to herself mentally and emotionally? Okay. All right. So all I can tell you is thank you so much, Nichole. She does feel better. That is the shift. That is the witnessing of who you were before and what you are now, and which one do you like better. Remember to do the hookup, but you go finish the R3D and do it that way. Now, I don't know if you knew your mic was shut off. There you go. Okay.
I just wanted to mute because I never know if there's noise in the background. I just want to say thank you. That means a lot to me, and I do feel so much better. And I felt confident in my decision. And then when I discussed it with my husband, he agreed. And I was like, why didn't you tell me you were concerned? He's like, because I knew you wouldn't listen to me. So at the end of the day, he said you were adamant you were doing it. He said, I just thought you'd work it out yourself. But this has been very helpful. And thank you, Brenda and Spirit. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm so glad that you live in Australia, with me, and eventually we may meet someday. I love the fact that I love my chiropractor, and I'm glad that you just keep putting in the effort. He'll put in the effort, and I know I have seen a great success for my physical body, which was built into me that no, you can't repair it. I don't believe that anymore.
That's
I
great.
know, and I know you, that's why I sent you that information about, hey, how does that brain, how does that, I know you got it. I know you can do it because you are determined to not be what you think you're supposed to be. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you. I just want to quickly say that Dr. Callum checks in with me occasionally from his private number, which I don't take advantage of, but I will forward that video because I do want his opinion on it. So we'll discuss that at my treatment tonight. So hopefully I can give you some
Try
feedback.
not to overwhelm the dude with anything that knowledge I may have. So he doesn't know that I know all this stuff. Just so you know.
No, I'm acting dumb. It's okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, hon? Tribal? Okay. All right. Bye, hon. All right. There. She's got it. Okay. This is a beautiful day. She did a wonderful job. And her epiphany was important because you got to understand with that epiphany, Okay, when you start spelling the epiphany, it's an epi, and it means on top. And then all of a sudden, as she's releasing those chemical peptides, the epigenetics, the thing that sits on top of the way you're supposed to behave, she's starting to release those. And that epiphany was very, very important. And you guys can have them too. Okay, so now we're going to go over to Crystal, Morgan, and Tamara. And Crystal has said, she wrote me. Let me see if I can, oh, here we go. She never remembers her dreams, but she did this time. So, with your permission, do I have allowed to, am I allowed to read it out? I just need to know, Crystal, if that's possible. And we'll go in that fashion. See, what's important about a dream is because it's not just a dream and that your emotions and your ego is going to go, oh my God. It's more than that. It is telling you what your soul's working on. So I'm waiting for her to, tell me if she can. And let me see if I can get some. No, didn't do that. Let's see if I can. Jeez, the writing is so super tiny. How are you supposed to see it? Oh, okay. I'm just going to say I feel like I'm blind as a bat, but that's okay. I have contacts in. That's what's happening. That's okay. So, if you want to learn how to dream moods, I'm not advertising them as much as because I'm not being supported or any of that, but out of having the healthiest definitions and connections, you sit with what resonates with you. But if your fear is telling you that you have to resonate with fear on this, and that's when no, you have to come at this with thank you, spirit, that you can go, oh, my spirit is learning to find the gem pops, to understand it. And so again, I don't see her. Where is Crystal? I wanted to get these out of the way. And I don't. Oh, there she is. So yes. Okay. So she had a dream and she has a truck in her dream, a delivery truck. And so we know that delivery is something is coming to her and it's coming super fast. It's backing up super fast and it crashed. Okay. So we know that energy is scary. Energy is coming into her space. Energy is coming in and crashing into her house. The house represents the soul. So there's a part of her that feels this invading energy. Okay. And a truck represents old memories. So ideas and hopes and old emotions. And so you have this that's coming up, but the way that it's coming in is that it's supposed to back up and deliver. But in this case, it's crashing into you. So you have old memories, old stuff that are crashing into you. It can also represent this. Oh, hold on. It's not that, but the truck suggests that that you're overworked. You're taking too many tasks and weighing down by responsibilities. Let me ask you, do you feel like you're being weighed down by responsibilities? And are these responsibilities connected to your old memories? Do these old responsibilities controlled by your beliefs that I have to do this, I have to do that, because they expect this of me, or they expect me of that? So do you have too much? Okay. So overloaded, feeling overloaded because the truck crashed. Are you overloaded and overwhelmed? Okay. So these responsibilities, things that are coming at you. And then she says, is this connected to anything to do with, I remember 3 days after my birthday last year when I died, I remembered my birthday is on the 15th this month. And this month, wow. Okay. And 3 days after my birthday, I have cataract surgery. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm going to look at this. Okay. Ready? Okay, so why is these connected to the birthday? And that is the body is leading up to the time, and so far it is not liking what it's hearing and seeing. And it's like, oh, I remember this. This is how we're supposed to behave. This is what's supposed to happen. And so the time is marked, and it has to do with the birthday. So the body's getting prepared even before that shows up. Now you're feeling overwhelmed, overworked, and responsibilities. Thank you. And what does this mean? It means that your habit, you have a lofty habit that you have to um, keep doing the same responsibility. And what is this? And because it has to do with it, is that you don't feel secure. So because you don't feel secure, you can't show up in your body with the energies. So no, you don't feel overwhelmed. Okay. So let's say you decided, now this is where I'm going to have you go with it. Because you have memorized it, you've seen it so much that now you have been complacent and you're like, oh, this is just life. But the body is saying that it's still overwhelmed, it's still overworked, it's for responsibilities. And they're telling me if you can look when you were 43, it was really a big one that you were so stressed, you felt incompatible, you felt this energy coming from the outside, and you have to do the right thing and all of this. And what happens is that it is just became a nightmare. What happened at 43? If you can look at it, can you imagine that you must live their way to have life? The key thing is you must live their way to have life. Now that person is not in your space, but your memories are still telling you that you are overwhelmed and worked and you have memorized. Ugh. You can't show up for yourself. Your body says, okay, so I'm supposed to break down and I don't have life force because it's in all of that. Your body's asking for more energy. It's asking for more. So you're going to start doing, you got to get your liver start to work more better. So left wrist is on the energetic level, left wrist, second position deep. And you are going to start to notice that I'm going to have to behave like this when they're in that attitude. Or I'm going to have to give in like this because they have manipulated me. But your body is so tired, everything is so tired that when they come in, I must live their way. You have automatically keep living their way. So that's left wrist, second position deep. Now you got to go back to when you were 43 and you feel so overwhelmed by responsibility and you have to live their way or else you're going to die and all of this other stuff. Left wrist, second position, two. Two. Left wrist, soft. That's interesting. Yeah. So left wrist, second position, soft, because you have to live their way. You must live their way in order to have a life. So you have reconstructed yourself to have all these rules that were based on whoever was in your life at 43. And you've been burnt out ever since. And the body is saying, I need life force in order to live, or else it's going to die off, or it's going to have this. And you're going to have to, so start working on your health now, or you're going to have to pay for it later. Okay, so you got 2 points. Okay, so Morgan, okay, and then camera. So Morgan says, why did I get reminded of that song, Take Me Out to the Ball Game? Okay, so sometimes when we have triggers, we talked about pitching and I had a conversation. And so your body went down to its first 3 chakras and says, oh, association, picture, take me out to the ball. And so your body is it doing just an association? They said, no, in this case, it's about you understanding a little bit more that when it comes to what's your place in your territory, what's your place? What position do you play? What do you do? And they go, take me out. Even though you like the song, you have hidden anxiety that you have to show up. So like in sports, and they're saying this came up because when you're around what age? Oh, what are you going to tell me? They said it's not about age. They're telling me something that has happened 2 times that you felt really deficient. And they said, you keep going. And as long as you showed up as deficient, then you didn't have to show up to do what was required. Like, for instance, playing baseball or doing some sport or something that you didn't want to do. So yesterday, after the conversation with you and Ayme, I officially decided to leave my friends and their server, and not too long after that, I felt a dry throat. Yes, because the body is going into panic. You're not fully as your spirit self because you're in your full spirit self. You have to go into doubt and fear. So you need to start doing L1D because your body is trying to say, I can't cope with this because I don't know who I am on a authentic level. And therefore, I feel like I have regret. I shouldn't have done this. So as you do that, L1D, okay? L1D for that. L1D. All right, now we have Tamara. Tamara, forgot what screen. Hi, Zale. How are you? I love it. Hashtag healing tools. Tamara, find her first. There you go. Hey, anything in particular, or you just want spirit to choose, hon? So I hope you're getting something out of this. If you feel like you understand what other people are, you're like, oh, I resonate. Yes, you can use the healing tool too. As long as you measure and all of this, you'll have no problem. Okay, Tamara, I'm going to just go, and if you have a question, I'll look up. But otherwise, Spirit is saying this. You are living a lie about something, about behavior and stuff. I'd like some input on the future of my business. Okay. Is the same thing with the business? So somehow the way you're living is affecting your business. So it is a lot lifestyle. No, it has everything to do with you're supposed to let things play out. So you got some advice when you were younger, and you're supposed to step back and do you remember any advice you got a lot when you were younger about business tactics? Okay. Now, because of this, I keep hearing that you somebody gave you the wrong advice. To somebody in the past that sounded like they knew what they're doing but never had a business, or if they had a business but it was going under, and you're taking sound advice from somebody, you have to consider the source. If somebody's going to tell me they're going to be a millionaire and they're going to teach me these tools and they only have two dimes to rub together, then consider the source. Why would you take that information? So when you were younger, you had listened without realizing, around 6 years old, never leave a job without another. Okay. Does that scare you? Okay. And even if you did, or you didn't have a job and you created a job, then you have to look at that advice. And I'm looking, they go, yes. And that has the part of your blueprint, and it needs to be changed. So they said, start doing R2D because you keep living in this particular nightmare. And you believe that the lie that's true. And yeah, it's good to sound advice if you don't have the confidence or the skills or any of this, and that you need to be prepared and fear and worry. I would tell people, you know what, don't take and, depends on who you are. Sometimes you have to just take the leap. But because of somebody else's fear, that's good advice, but yet somebody else's fear came along with it. And that fear is controlling how you can make your business grow. And they're saying it's time to let that go. And so you have to start healing up that lie because it's not your truth, L2D. Because you do not have to have bad shit happen just because they have had all this experience or they borrowed it from somebody else, and that just keeps rehashing. You do not have to. Okay. That makes sense? Measure that statement, look at it on a deep level and go, oh my goodness, I'm putting my energy into that instead of into my business. Because now you've ordered that. It has to interfere to have your business be successful. You have to have this stage first, but you don't need it. Hashtag notice your programs. Oh, I like that. Hashtag in the discovery is the recovery. Okay, so Robyn, if you are ready. And she said, Spirit, please. I am going to give her a reading. Morgan says, thanks. I didn't mean for the other question to sound like it was my question. It was just something I remind. No problem. Spirit has taken care of it. So go heal that one. Go heal them both. Go heal whatever. Miss Robyn. I'm feeling how my body is like saying, hey, I need some things. So we're going to talk physical on the cell level. On a cell level, you have been displaying parents. So what I'm seeing, welcome. I'm seeing that you're doing an automatic program that I have to display like how my parents displayed. And they're referring to is like, but you're not doing it like here, your body is doing it. Your body is doing it. So did your parents ever get hysterical? Did they ever get upset? Did they ever get, you know, just okay, erratic in their behavior when their energy was flying all over? Well, their energy was flying all over. Inside of you, I feel like you control yourself. It's like, no, I'm not going to allow that to happen. There's a difference between controlling it and other things. So they're saying that you have this display coming up, but this display had helped to help you take action. So this is where we have sometimes misplaced loyalty. Oh, I just freaking just broke my angel came off the end of my thing, and my beads just spilled all over. Okay, let's find a different pendulum. Let's grab this one. Okay, let's try this one. Well, that was an example of how because you got to remember so that had a little plastic wire in it, and if you're twisting and you're turning it, eventually it's going to wear thin, breaking patterns. That's good. So that's yes, but we don't have to look at it and go, oh, that's a shame. Yeah, it can be repaired. So that's how you approach it. So your physical body is still saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So we got to talk to this physical body. I said, what would you like me to do? And they're saying, from what I can see, they're saying into the thoracic T8. Okay, what do you want me to know? They're saying in this T8 has to do with keeping them around the homestead. Now, keeping around the homestead has everything to do with how, like, you can't go out tonight. You have to take care of the kids. You have to babysit. You have all these chores to do. You can't go out there. That's a very fearful world. Stay with me and I'll take care of you. There's this fear to engage the world, so they keep you safe. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because they're saying it's locked into the spine. So again, find a door jamb, find them where T8 is, and it is both sides. And you are going to do R2D, right wrist, second position deep. It's about, I can't do this again. When you do a behavior you can't see, this is where we say, thank you, Spirit, show me with grace and ease. And it may show up in other people first, or a TV show. And then you have to, like, with spirit only, go, am I doing that? And remember, because you've been working with the mental, emotional, spiritual, your physical is now asking. It's asking for help. So I believe that R2D, I can't. Like, I don't know. My mother had this thing that she didn't want to leave her hometown. So I can't drive any farther than this. So she'd always make me drive. I can't do this. Now, she would never say I can't. She would find a particular way that all of a sudden I'm in the driver's seat and taking her places. When I was supposed to be doing something else, I had to cancel my plans to do her plans. Oh, you understand? Okay, good. Because so there's something going on that you can't see just as of yet, but a program is trying to get you to do this. So again, once it is I can't do it again, or I can't. Now this taps in your freedom. It taps in, interferes with your freedom, that space. And it has a lot to do with how I've gotten so used to this behavior. So they're going to tell you R3S. I'm so used to this behavior that I don't know. That makes sense. I'm feeling it. Good. I just don't know. So it's like I'm so used to this behavior that I don't even know I'm doing the displaying of my parents. So there is some type of action. Like I said, my mother's fear when I got over here, I know I have great sense heading. I don't need a map. I can do this. But when I got here, I went into fear because I just learned it from my mother. And I would drive myself crazy. And the next thing you know, I'm lost. I'm crying. And I come back home. I'm like, what? I'm like, who am I? And then when I did all this healing, the next time I went out, now I just use it as a game. Go out, no phone. Okay, now let's see if I can get back. Old school. People say, well, how do you go out in the world without a phone? Well, I did it. We never had phones. So we don't need fear to control things. They really want you to focus on L3D2 because what you do is you go right into doubt. Oh, my body is being abnormally reactive. Okay, yes. That is, I think that is the L3D, what you're saying. Because there's something to do with how you were a little girl and somebody criticized. Okay, first I feel like you observing of how when somebody wanted to do it and they didn't want them to do it because it messes up their world, so they would criticize this other person and they would put doubt in them, and then all of a sudden they wouldn't do it and the other person gets to have their way. Okay, but there's something to do with the body. Now remember, your body is saying, I'm picking up the environment and my body has to change because I believe it. Now we want to do the reverse. We want to help our body to self-soothe how we know that we're supposed to be. So R3S is going to be your best friend on that last part. That makes sense? Okay. Now, if there's, before we go on to Ayme, if there's anybody that's new here and wants a reading, you're more than welcome to get a reading. Hi, TP. How are you, honey? Remember, if you're here, hit the thumbs up. And if you ever want to rewatch your video, your reading, you just go over to YouTube. Remember to like, share, and get notified. We are having a new show coming up. It's called Ask Dr. B Power. It is Ask Dr. B Power. I finally settled on a particular name that's suitable, energetically wise. Ask Dr. B Power. And it's about relationships. Well, why does this always happen in my relationship? Or, well, should I do this? Like Morgan had asked that question. Simply put, her relationship is that I had broke up with these people, but yet now I feel this thing. That's a relationship question. So she ended up getting an answer. So, yeah, if you want a free reading, because I've never read you before, you're more than welcome to. Or you can just sit here and like the show and however you choose to do it. But I won't do it unless I hear. Did she say yes? Yeah, so go heal yourself out. Get the body to really know that the brain can do it. And I do both. Oh, what did I suggest? You free reading? You like to donate? You don't want your video? Who do you want to give it to? You want me to just randomly put it into see if anybody wants it for grabs? So you don't want to come on or work on anything? Is that what you're saying, honey, Angela? Yeah, you can do both, Julie, reading and enjoy the show. Yes. Okay, so Angela has been gifted because she had shared in this and that, and she won. She won a chance to either do a video or audio, but she wants to gift it back. She wants to forward her PIF. So if any of you, and we can even save it for next time if there's not enough people to play, but if there's any of you that would like that video, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to have video, you can have audio to come on, then we can play the game. Oh, good. Keep healing, Robyn. Keep healing. All right. So this last PIF is a big PIF that has been given to Angela, has paid it forward. So that means you can come on. You don't have to have a video. You can just have audio. That's fine. And so in this case, if you would like your name in that drawing, we're going to see if there's enough people. We will have a race or something like this. Oh, my phone is about ready to go pooey, and then I got to charge it. There we go. Get that up and running. Okay. I could save it for next time. I'll see what Spirit says, but I'm going to give a reading to Miss Julie B. Miss Julie B. because you were brought a friend, moderators put down bring a friend and put Ayme. And then Julie B, you're ready. Anything in particular? Or do you want me to just let spirit choose? Your soul knows what to heal. What is a clue for Julie? Good, yes. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Spirit, give me my camera back to me. You want me to focus on something, Spirit? I will. What is going on? That's interesting. Something is affecting overlooked. Hmm. Moderators, put that down. Say we have a video as a piff for next time. And we will do that in October. That's what Spirit is trying to tell me. If that's it, so be it. Thank you, Spirit. Here we go. Now, Julie B. The one thing I see is that there's this sluggish energy. Is that yours? No. Whose is it? Okay, it's in the relationship field. And this is how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be sluggish, being who you need to be in when people are around. So scalar field is this, you have your aura and your aura overlaps with another. And if you're not using your personal power, then you will show up the way they want. So you're showing up is that there's a part of you that's not showing up for yourself. So you're very sluggish about who you're supposed to be when you're with these people. You with me so far? So have you been around people where you just feel like I can't really be me, or I can't remember that I wanted to be fun, or I got to do this? They said, when you're in that field, what happens is that you're just so. She goes, yes. Okay. And they said, it's time for you to understand that, where are they going? When you're about 4 years old, you got to witness the show and severed love. In the heart is like, I'm supposed to show love, or oh, it's so scary. I have to sever love. And you witnessed how relationships were. So now we flash forward to now. And they said that this is the part where all of a sudden you have to display what you learned with people. So you don't know, you downloaded this is how I'm supposed to be. Now, to help you wake up, you're going to have to understand there is this this habit that says that you have no energy and that you're supposed to just be in this state of, ugh. When you were growing up, what kind of household did you have? Was the woman supposed to be submissive? Was she supposed to be passive? Was the in a relationship are you supposed to be? And they said what you learned was that you're supposed to not be able to trust yourself. You can only trust other people to help create changes, and that you can't behave the way you want. You have to behave the way they expect or want, or they'll call you stubborn, or they'll say that, say not nice things about yourself. And so you've learned to reject your reality, what you've wanted when you're in a relationship. Does any of that make sense? If so, then we are going to help you understand that you don't have to over-identify with it. My siblings took me in the woods at dark and then abandoned me. Oh, shit, that happened to me too. But not yeah, well, they thought it was funny. Yes. Now, does that memory have anything to do with what I'm talking about? Yes. And they said, because right now it's locked. Oh, okay. We want your body we want you to unlock your body. Okay. So that means you're going to have to go ahead and get a magnet or your hand. Okay. It really plays a big part because you've already had witnessed this so many times. Now it's happening to you that it's now really has this experience, kind of like, oh, this is always going to happen, or oh, this has to happen because that's how I do relationships, or oh, okay. So they want you to go left side first. Okay, go to the left side first. You're going to follow the big toe right there on the side, just past the little bunion part of the bone. Come up just a little bit. You're going to take your hand, palm, flip it over, back a hand, palm, back a hand, and you're going to do that 24 times. And then when you're done, you're going to push in, not slide, push in and penetrate, deep penetration. Okay. Then you're going to do the right side and do the exact same thing. We need to unlock this because the spleen meridian, you need that support from yourself. Spleen is the mothering support, the ability to support yourself. And the spleen is saying, I can't. I'm in this hell. I'm stuck in this memory. Now, when you look at this memory, after you've done that, you look at this memory, the memory that you just spoke about, they're going to do a couple things. One, it'll be R3S. Oh my God. Oh my God. Measure how it scared you, how you can't cope, how you can't trust or any of that. Okay. I can't feel safe, secure, stable, sane, serene, or have my freedom. I'm locked here. I'm locked here. You're going to might have to measure that a couple times from a different one of the words that maybe stick out. You just don't feel stable, that you can take care of yourself without feeling like you're going to be eaten alive by the world. Okay, or the dark, however you choose to do it. Then you're going to do another thing. You're not supposed to believe in yourself. You're supposed to doubt, doubt, doubt. So your identity becomes this doubt. And so it's left wrist, third position, nice and deep. Okay. First one was R3S. Finger in the palm, thumb soft, safety, scared, stability. It's the heel of the palm to the forehead. Drop your hand and you measure. Oh my God, I hate that incident. Ah, okay. And then the body and you will start to break down that chemical peptide. And then you go over to left wrist, third position, deep, R3. Is that where I wanted you to go? No. Yeah, it is. Left L3D. And you're going to begin to notice that you'd have to doubt. You can't be yourself. You're going to have a certain amount of cynicism. You're going to left wrist, because you're controlled. And I'm going to say, once you feel that, you may have to go back and use how they used words, tone, gestures about criticizing you. That's another big one, only when you're ready, that you will also do L3D. You got it? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Whew. Well, see, that's backing why she wanted to be overlooked, because if they're going to take her into the forest and leave her in the dark, I don't want to participate, her brain says. So being overlooked, and that implies for everything in life, not just that they're going to do that again to you. It happened once, it could happen again. There's that fear. So that's what you're going to start doing, is breaking down this whole thing that locks you into place. Okay. And your body is ready because it's saying, oh, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be in that space anymore. Good thing. Okay. We have the great show. We're going to bring on Ayme as soon as I get to the right. Is that the right person this time? Yes. You are welcome. You can be in charge. Now, you can watch this video over and over on YouTube as many times as you want. Medicine Woman Solution. Thank you. I appreciate that. She's sending me a gift exchange of roses. And heal as many times as you want. Pause if you must, but measure. And then when you're done, how you know the difference and witness, because you're starting to train yourself that you don't have to be in that state. You can have a different state of being, and that usually is joy. Hello, hello. I'm gonna get this mic on. Hi, I love the coordination of the purple and the green, the shirt and all that. That's good. How can I help you?
It's been an interesting weekend.
Okay. Okay. It feels like it's been like forever since I've spoke to you, which is a lie. But at the same time, I feel
We've actually seen each other, yes.
well, yeah, but I'm saying communicate, talk, any of that. I have situations where, I don't
Yeah,
talk to
it does. It
months.
seems like it's been weeks, but it hasn't.
Correct. But so energetically, there's this space. And I think this has to do with we've passed tests where we don't have to go through like what the rest of the world's doing.
Uh-huh.
So I've noticed that we were out of sync in that, but we resynced up. And I feel like these were all test points. And it's like, okay.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
we're doing it.
it's just really a weird couple of days. I mean, yesterday I had to ship something through UPS, had to take it to an actual UPS store, which is an hour and a half away.
Ugh.
And then today I went and got water, and it was like, it was busy work, but yet it wasn't busy.
Okay. But I feel like you created a situation where if I do this, then I won't have to do the long way. If I, like, for instance, I didn't push the button correctly and now I have to go out of my way and do more. Did you complain? Did you get mad at yourself?
No, I didn't. That was the weird thing.
That's good. Because now you're like I spent 4 hours creating this one video, and the program is supposed to save every 5 minutes. Well, at the end of it, it somehow all of a sudden it is screwed up. So I hit the back button, but then everything froze and then it closed down. Then when I got back, all the codes were wrong. And I'm like, interesting. And all I could hear myself say was, well, I can do it better next time. And I was like, it was no big deal. I didn't go into, oh my God, I just spent 4 hours in that complaining, and oh God, now I got to go into anxiety. They got to do it again. So I feel like part of the way on the planet was, oh, we're here again. Okay, well, now I'm going to approach it better because I've already learned some little interesting things. And I didn't put deadlines and stress on myself. I just said, if it happens, it happens. I'm going to do it with grace and ease, but I'm also going to do it as my soul. Okay. And so I feel like what you did was that you created situations where you have to do more, but you didn't do the old patterns. So what's important about comparing yourself to yourself in the past is that this is part of what tribal is about. If you have learned, even if you don't come to tribal, you can do this. Who was I and what was my programs before? And why is it important? Are you going to reinstall them? No, you're going to reinstall them anyway. But if you pay attention with your gift of awareness of spirit, you can then go, hold on, who was I before? How am I doing it now? And if I'm doing the same, I don't have to hurt myself, beat myself up. I can go and decide to heal that. And so that when I take and look back, I'm doing it differently. So that when you start tribal, the first thing you do is that it's important that you make a video, like have a future message, but it's not about future message. It is about, how am I living my life? What am I doing? How am I being? And then 6 months later, because you're dedicating as much time as you possibly can on healing pictures and situations and chemical peptides, that in 6 months, you're going to go, oh, I don't think that way. So then you can say, that's a win. And then you're like, ooh, I still do that pattern. Okay. What information am I missing? Like when my video decided to, Spirit was trying to tell me to make that video for next time I come back. Okay. So it's like, had to get my attention, but do I have to approach it with a program, or am I going to listen with discernment? And not because if your ego is just thinking, you're in a program. But if you're in discernment and you're dropping in that spirit space, you're observing completely different. And that's what we want you to do. Okay. So you now can see. So what was the gift? What was the wisdom?
So where I went was, and I went to the doctor on Thursday, and after the doctor, I went and ate, and the lady that was waiting on me, she was older. 75, maybe even 80. And I had a free sandwich coming, and so I gave her the card, and she didn't look at it. She went, because she was new.
Okay. Yeah.
She was new, and she was like, I don't know how to. She didn't know how to do it.
Right.
So
She
she
was
went
honest.
to the lady that was at the window with the headset on, and gaslit her. Oh my God. Well, did you read it? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, seriously? Okay, what are you know,
Okay, stop right there. When you saw that scenario, remember, everything's a mirror. And if you start working with your spirit and living as your spirit,
oh, my dad gaslighting my mom.
Very good. Very good.
And
Okay.
like, I know I'm not supposed to save her, but I want, my heart just went out to this poor woman.
Right, right, right. You can be passion, but at the same time observe.
And so she came over and, showed her which buttons it was. And then they went and got the manager too. And so they rang it up. And on their side, it showed like four something because I got fries and water. And but on my end, it showed over $10. And I'm like, I'm not going to put my card in there because it's going to be harder to take it off than to have them just erase that order and re-ring it.
Right.
And this older lady, she's trying to figure it out, but it didn't work. So we were standing there and I'm like, okay, where'd you go? You might have to go get the manager. And she looked at me with absolute terror in her eyes.
All right. So who does she represent in your past?
My mom.
Okay.
The thumb.
There's your mom present. She's knowing that this is a truth here.
And it was, I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting in this cup of peace. I'm just standing there, sending this woman love. And as we're waiting for the manager to come back, I hadn't told her to go get her yet. This older gentleman comes in, has a $100 bill in his hand. Well, can I order with cash? And the lady's like, well, once I get this taken care of, yes. I mean, he was like, he wanted it just right now.
Yeah,
And
some people got so laser focused and forget that other people exist.
Mhm.
And you want to know why? Because your mirror is showing you that if I sit there and rehearse in my mind, da, 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 and I'm going to get my way and all this other stuff, and I'm going to do it this way, and blah, 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 they tune out that other people exist. How did you ever see that?
Every day of my life growing up.
Okay. Now, how did you react knowing all these mirrors showed you that that's who you was, and that's what you're supposed to be? And did you hit the big vending machine button of doing habit again, or did you stay in observation and awareness?
No, I stayed in observation and awareness, and I'm going, this is just really because I stayed in that cup of.
Yes.
I just stayed in that cup of peace, and I'm like, I gotta remember this. And it was the coolest thing.
Notice how you told yourself, I want to remember this. But it was a joyful thing, even though it was an awful experience out there. Why? Why did you know that you needed to you tell your brain to fire and wire to remember this?
So that I can predict better.
Very good. Very good. Did you hear that? So I can predict better. And this is based on how the brain functions. The brains only can do the next best guess.
Yep.
And if you know that, if you know this piece of information and you are choosing to decide what goes in, are you hoarding old belief system in your filing system or are you putting new ones in? She's put one in intentionally. I need to remember this because this is juicy. Thank you, Spirit. And so in it goes. That's why she was able to hold a cup of peace. You don't, if you've never done a lot of healing and you're looking at that, well, I want to do that. Go heal the fact you feel you can't, or there's doubt, or there's a whining, because that chemical peptide doesn't need to be. She could be your Kellogg of life going, ooh, I'm already doing that now in the future. Yes, now. And so next time, and you're like, ooh, I didn't do that. I need to heal that. Thank you, Spirit, for showing me that.
Mm-hmm.
Feel it out, and then you can return your energy, your life force back to yourself. Okay.
And I was like, even say 6 months ago, I would have been huffy at all of this. I would have, run to the end of the timeline, would have been upset at the woman, and I wouldn't have seen all of those gems.
Oh, so now you just gave yourself another insight, which is what I would I'm not a program, and I would have missed out. I would.
Yeah,
How do you feel? How do you feel?
empowered
Excellent.
because I could see all of these different things going on, and it was like, wow.
Now, understand, he's been really diving into how the tribal uses the basics, and people are like, "Oh, I don't want to keep doing this over and over," but because you're fortifying your aura, you're balancing your field, because you're holding space, because you're choosing to be in this fixed space, you're connecting with your heart and your brain. When you keep doing this over and over, you're going to walk around with a new spaceship, a new bubble, a new orb, a new aura. And you're learning how to show up and be there for yourself. So when you go out in these situations, you're not absorbing, you're observing.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets your attention because you're like, oh, that's how my past was. Yeah, no, thank you. I don't need to do that anymore. And I'm just, yeah, you get another epiphany flying in there? Well, let's get it.
So after I got my lunch, I had like 2.5, 3 hours until I met my cousin for dinner. And
Okay.
I was in Sioux Falls, and in the middle of town, they have what's called Falls Park, where there are waterfalls.
Mm.
So I went to Falls Park, and I went to the falls, and I went live for a little while, and the signal was choppy enough that it wasn't worth staying on. So I just kind of walked around the park, and then I just sat down, and I didn't have a wig on. I just had my hat on. I took off my hat, and I just sat there and listened to the water with my eyes closed and meditated for like, I don't know how long. And when I opened my eyes, I saw all of these people running around in their little bubbles, just
Mhm.
like chaos.
Ah, ooh. Wow,
Where
I almost forgot how to breathe there for a second. That's weird. So when you were looking, because I saw what you saw, it's like it reminds you of using your imagination, and we're doing let's say you're observing how everybody's in their little orbs, and you can tune in to color, frequency, sound, and all that, and go, oh, that's chaos. Oh, that one's peace. That's chaos. So you were able to be more in your spiritual state, observing, not you're doing it with discernment, without judgment, blame, or none of that, but you're like, whoa, look at all the choices, the different variables of how in the quantum field we can choose to show up, to be, the nature of being. And go on.
and I was just sitting there, and I was taking a video to send to somebody, and this couple walked down onto the rocks down into the falls because the water wasn't very deep. And so they walked down, and she took off the backpack, and I'm watching, and I'm like, and I'm focused on the falls again, and then I looked back. They had taken a cat out of the backpack, and I'm like, what? And the cat was on a leash and everything, but it was like that poor cat.
Okay, so now she did go into judgment. So she, hold on.
Like, and then I'm like,
What? Because she, in her heart, she would never do that. She would never put a cat in a bag. And the question is it true that you say, is it true? Did the cat think it was bad? Did the parents, where did you come up with the meaning?
just the way that the cat was very tail between its legs. I could feel that the cat was like, I'm not sure about this. It's too loud, I think is what I
Okay.
really felt.
So 8 years old, did you get in trouble
Oh, I'm
with how
sure.
you took care of a cat and somebody corrected you? You can't do that with a cat. You're not allowed to do that.
Oh my God. Okay. I think I was probably 8. My cousin was coming over, and they had a big dog. I grabbed my cat by the tail. Cat turned around, bit me.
Okay. Now, you learned that lesson that you don't do that to a cat. Now, every time you see certain things, you go into a state of what? Oh my God. judging, right?
Huh?
We give meaning. Oh, that poor cat, this and that. Now, does that memory that she explained have anything to do with why she saw the backpack? Yes. Why? Well, it's showing me there's a part of you that said, though that cat was got lofty. It was told that it had to behave this way, and it probably didn't like it. And oh my God, that's wrong. Now, you probably got yelled at, or you learned your lesson because you got bit. You don't know and remember all of that, but what you are remembering is that you put meaning to it. You can't do that. I can't do that. You can't do that. If I can't do that, you can't do that. So you're going to make sure you do L2D when it comes to that, because it's a lie. You just showed me where you lost life force power, not just to the experience, but to maybe what the conversation was, or you thought you learned it, because you're not going to do it again. But your brain says, this is normal. This is normal. People walk up, Sioux Falls, water's running, dun, 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 dun. Backpack, dun, dun, dun. Cat. Your brain says, I can't accept that. And so the brain says, why can't I accept that? Then comes along an unresolved story. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, that poor cat. Oh my God, oh my God, that poor cat. Now, did your parents, because you grabbed it by the tail, did anybody go, oh, that poor cat, Ayme? We don't realize it, but when these little incident happens, we create, in the moment our brain wave is in a certain state, we create these engrams. And your brain has equals everything. So if just for a moment she saw the cat, it triggered her back. Oh my God. And I can't do that. No, no, no. So I'm watching her. She's healing. So it's a very interesting to watch. So it's coming to the point where I can't even talk. But you're very cautious, guarded, and I'll never do that again. And therefore, it throws out any interesting, good ideas that could come in about the cats, because you have to do it with a very loving manner. You have to do it this way. I would never do that with my heart. Oh my God, oh my God. So the lie, you got in trouble from what I can feel. You got in trouble for doing that, and they invaded your space and got mad at you, including the cat biting you. And they're trying to explain, you never grab a cat by its tail.
And then I had to go to the emergency room because I think it was a Saturday.
Oh.
I think that's why I got in trouble.
Why? Because it's Saturday?
It was Saturday, it was the ER.
So hold on. You created a situation where you had to do more.
Mhm.
So you created a situation when you were younger where they had to do more. You had no problem with it. They were probably not happy. It's my day off. Now we have to be here. We have to spend this money. Oh my God, why'd you do that? Would they talk that way?
Energetically, but yes, I wouldn't necessarily hear them, but I would feel them.
Ah, so you would interpret that energy. They wouldn't show the fear or the worry, but you could feel that they were like, oh,
Yeah.
off. Why the hell? Why do you always do this? Why do you throw up on your dress when I'm supposed to have a Sunday dinner? I didn't bring an extra dress. Ah,
Mhm.
so you feel their disgust, right?
Yeah.
So keep going. What number do you think it is? And what is it we were focusing on?
4.
What are we focusing on?
Right now I'm seeing that I'm not bleeding.
Oh, good.
I When the cat bit me, I did not bleed
Huh. But why did then you had to go to the hospital?
because they didn't want me to get an infection.
Oh, so they made a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
So they went with one fear to the next fear to the next fear, that they got dirty teeth. So it's belief systems about how you can get an infection.
Mhm.
So they exaggerated or they let their fear exaggerate it. Is there truth that you can get really infected? Have you been bitten before after that?
Yeah, I was bit just a week ago. Sadie bit through my nail.
You go to the emergency room like you're supposed to because you're going to get infection.
No, the
No.
blood.
What's that?
No, I didn't,
Okay.
but it bled.
But it bled. Ah, so there's the difference. If it bled, then the poisons come out.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I don't know. Oh, your mom's here.
Yeah, I just thought that.
I'm playing with my hair, and she's like, "Oh, let's doll you up." Your mom dolled you up, did she?
Yes, she did.
You have to look a certain way. Stop it.
Yes, I did. I had to look a certain way.
Okay. She says you look fantastic, by the way. She says, yeah, yeah, that was my opinion about the wigs. But no, that looks good. Did she have problems with color? Like, let's put it this way. If all the kids on the block were coloring their hair, but you couldn't.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, so she liked you to look like her.
Yeah. In fact,
Is your grandma here? Did she rock?
yeah,
You're
my
like I'm
mom
supposed to
did.
be
No,
stern.
she did.
It's like I'm supposed to be stern. You're not doing it the way I would do it. Mm. Ah. Your dad just come in. That's enough. I don't know what her name was, but that's enough. And all of a sudden I stopped rocking.
My mom?
Um, I was being grandma. I think your grandma's energy was here.
Grandma Esther. Both of my grandmas were Esther.
Okay, well, anyways, your dad just said that's enough. So, and then all of a sudden that energy stopped.
The only grandma that I knew was my mom's mom.
But your dad had a command.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what number are you at?
I just heard orange.
You're orange. And so I'm going to ask Spirit what that means. So give me 2 seconds. Orange. Keep your hand there a little bit longer. Orange. All right. So your will is that you are supposed to be guilt, or you're not supposed to have pleasure. You have to have guilt. And somehow it's in your also goes the second chakra affects the fifth chakra, saying you're supposed to take in and feel guilty for this. That's what we would do. Your mom was very guilty that she didn't help her daughter and properly. And she has to do it right by you. She screwed up the first time. She's got to do it right by you. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
She's like, tell her I know that's wrong. This isn't our first rodeo. And so why are you showing up as worry? Because it's a very addicting behavior. She goes, what number is she? Ayme, what number are you?
And then after I heard orange, then I heard fortify.
Yeah, you need to fortify your field because the oscillating energy just made me want to spin because she's worried. That's why you were deficient. That's why you always went deficient.
I'm in a zero now.
Very good, very good. How do you know? I mean, how do you even know to look at that program? Because we found it.
It I used to not be able to tell that I was at a zero.
Okay.
And now it was like, it's just gone.
Okay. Now, do you like this part or do you want to go back?
No, I don't want to go back. Mm-mm. No, thank
So
you.
what did you learn from that?
That I don't have to believe my own BS, which is bullshit and belief systems. I don't have to believe the lie. I don't have to believe the energy that's coming at me either.
Very good, very good. And as you do this, you know that you can look at who you were. So who would you been in the past?
My mother, I would have been in worry, I would have been in fear, I would have been in great terror because of what's coming up.
Hmm. But why do you have to respond that way?
Um, I
Why?
don't.
Okay, but you can feel that, yes?
I can feel how
But it is just a vending machine button at this point.
exactly. I can feel how I would have gone there in the past, but
Mhm.
it's not there this time.
Correct. So do you have to, just like when I drop my fork, do I have to yell and scream or can I stop and go, just drop my fork? It's not a big deal. It's a 1 and a 2, so you're going to work it in your favor.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's unfolding.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like there's no anxiety like
Okay, live
before.
without it. Are you okay to be something else besides that anxiety?
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. Hashtag be your authentic self. I agree. All
Uh,
right. So now hook up because again, you said the word fortify at the end. The last thing you need to do is to have this healing zip away or somebody else or cat, an animal, phone call, whatever, to make you no, we want to fortify this particular orb. There you go. Thank you so much for coming on. And she's learned that she's on here twice in a certain amount of segments. So I love the fact that you honor me for that. I appreciate it very much.
you're welcome. I have a new anything added to my resume. Cat wrangler.
Ah,
The kitties next door get out and they don't realize it. So I just take them home. They let me catch them and I bring them home, put them in the garage, and that's where they live.
so it's interesting how she put that in there at the end.
I'm not sure why I had to say that.
We'll read what you wrote.
There, yeah.
So in the chat, what'd you write? It's a hidden fear. So you have to hang on a little bit more. When you get off here, you're going to notice that it's about controlling territory, R1S. But first, discover what that means first before you go anywhere. I want you to just sit with it with spirit.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. You did a good job. And I love you very much. And we will see you tomorrow in Tribe.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Bye, honey.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too. There we go. You can learn a lot by watching and observing. You can learn to be your spiritual self instead of your ego self with judging. And if you paid attention, you would have seen some of the things that we teach in tribal. And why is it important we learn these? Because it's a lifestyle. It's a way of living with your soul. It's a way of communicating and moving forward with your soul. And it's important to show up for yourself. Learn how to be whole. Learn how to use both parts of your brains, left, right, to be whole. Learn how to have your heart-brain connection. You have the opportunity of a lifetime to grow. You just got to decide if you want to show up as asleep or awake. And people will be awake but put themselves back to sleep. But then you have to go on a journey, and then all of a sudden your soul says, but wake up. Now you can wake up in a harsh way with a bitch slap, and life changes you, and there's no way of ever going back because you burnt those bridges. Or you can learn to heal and do it with a whisper, and you start to walk your talk, talk your walk, and you live, breathe, walk and talk it, and dream it and imagine it. You can learn how to be whole self, unification. And if you slip backwards, you're not blaming yourself. You're like, ooh, I'm in a healing moment. Either I'm going to learn from this, or I'm going to let it control me. I don't want you to think it has to control you. I want you to just be the spirit and go, wait a minute, I can do this. So you have to learn to become your spiritual self. Hashtag learn to healing and tribe. Oh, I like that. Everything is getting redesigned, and every single day you have to decide to show up for yourself. Okay, now I'm going to double check and see if there's anything else that anybody wanted. If there is, if you're listening, you have one opportunity right now, and that is before I don't show up again until October. And that is, if you want your free reading, say yes to your free reading right now if I've never read you before. And if you are like, well, okay, she's gone, I'm going to do this and that. But if your soul starts to say, well, I miss her, go put on one of my videos and watch and comment down below and like it and do whatever. But remember, your soul is looking. So when you're in this matrix with me, you're going to see more. When you are in that matrix with other people, you have to learn to hold your own matrix. And you need to decide that you're going to create that. And that means you can't have a positive life if you keep focusing on the news that is a negative experience or other programs. And there's nothing wrong with sitting back and enjoying your life. But your spirit part of you, you need to become a spiritual human. You need to become whole and integrated. You need to allow yourself to show up for yourself in a very healthy manner. So, are you worth it? A lot of people say, well, no. Why do you believe those old programs? Because they told me so. Wait a minute. Why do you have to believe that? And it boils down to the end of the day, this chemical peptide. Remember how your cells in the beginning of the show? Your chemical peptide, that cell, the 50 trillion cells that make up the you, it's the environment that controls you. But if you show up as your spiritual self, you can observe your emotions, you can observe your thoughts, you can observe without having to absorb or detach or make yourself less than. But if you do, you can go, as the spirit, go, oh, I just use my power to change who I am. How about if I change that chemical peptide? How about if I change that in the frontal lobe? It's the seat of consciousness and where you create reality. And you have the ability within your own body to work with that innate wisdom that created you, that create things to function. And you can even go down to the subconscious mind and start to change these beliefs that create these perceptions. So we're going to learn more about that tomorrow in Tribal. Now, you're always worth it. You just got to stop believing the programs that came from the outside. We have to unlearn and upgrade all of those things, because we do not live where tigers are coming and chasing you for dinner, or you have to race around and fight to find dinner. Stress is very unnecessary, but for stress in a good way. Push yourself to the next thing that you need to do. For lifting weights, you take that extra pump when, oh, I can't do it. You put yourself into mind over matter and you do it. You may be sore, but it's a good sore, but you're developing your muscle. And if you just allow yourself to go, okay, I'm in hell, and you heal it up, you are lifting weights and building a new part of your brain that, oh, I don't have to be that. And there's such a relief. I'm in a crap show. Hold on. I don't have to be here. I'm here, but I don't have to be here. And as soon as you start to remember it and leave yourself signs, and you use EFT and any other healing tool that shifts that brain or dissolves that chemical peptide and tells your cell to stop being such a nervous wreck, and it turns back to safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, that freedom, and you know it, whoa, Why do you want to choose unhappiness? Why do you want to choose stress? Because I have to do. No, that's a program right there. You can say, oh my God, I always approach this way. I don't want to be the program. So why am I approaching this? Out of fear. I'm approaching this because of dread. I'm approaching this because I don't like the feeling that it gives me. Feel the feeling, and you can change the way your cells function. And you can start getting your body return back to health. I hope you liked today's program. And we're going to continue this. I think this is my last one, isn't it, Ayme? Before I take my break, I got to remember, because I don't do Thursdays anymore. Yes, this is my last one. And tribal tomorrow. And now you got your wings. Next week? Yeah, next week is when I'm leaving, right? Yeah, leaving. I'm not doing my shows. I think it's next week. Yes. Thank you. Hashtag fantastic show. I will accept that. Thank you, Spirit. And hopefully other people will discover this channel as well. And I'm going to sit back and prepare for the next leg of where Spirit wants me to be. And that's talk about relationships more in depth on my other show. So if you have a relationship question, any type of relationship question, you can write me. Okay, so let's see. Brenda. Let me see if I can find where I'm at here. Yes, that's the right one, I think. Okay, so again, if you have relationship questions, the best thing to do is to write me. Now, I'm going to put up on the screen in just a second or two. If I can get my mouse to cooperate with me, a way to communicate with me. Okay. And we're just going to bring this up real quick. So it is, that's not the right one. It's Ask Dr. B. I swear I put the right one in here. Well, that is going to be no good to show that one. Ask Dr. B Power at doctor.com. This email, you can write me here too. I'm going to put it up anyways. But there is actually two. The one I really want, it says ask Dr. B Power at dr.com. But the other information is still quite the same. So let me share this with you and just give it a couple seconds. Now, you're not going to see this in TikTok land. So the show is basically, hoping it can show up on the screen. If not, it might be too big. Can you make it smaller? Oh, you don't need to see that. That's a video. Oh, you have to laugh sometimes. You just have to laugh. Not what I wanted. It didn't work out the way I wanted. But I did want to see. Yes, it did. That'll work. But anyways, the show is Ask Dr. B Power. The topic is real life relationships, social skills, all about question and answers of the metaphysics. We're going to teach you about dimensions as well. And that is going to be talking about how to live in a 5D world. You have relationship questions. It's not asking the psychic, it's asking the doctor. If you want to ask the psychic, if that's what you want to call me, then this is a show that you want me to do. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to separate the two all together. I'm going to teach you how to use your soul's communication to help you. This has been a great show, and it's been a great day. And this is me signing off, and Tribal is going to be fun tomorrow. And I'm excited to communicate and be with you all that are there. If you'd like to join, you just let me know. Ayme says, hold on, I'm going to do one more show. That's possible. I may or may not. I'm going to ask, I'll talk to my husband about it. I'll talk to Spirit about it, and I'll pray about it. So I could possibly have one more show. Spirit has been giving me the feeling that this was my last one. So I'm going to have to sit in meditation to find out really if I'm doing that show on Monday. You might get lucky. Just might get lucky and get one more. I don't know. We'll find out. Hashtags. These are not just hashtags. It is to help remind you you do not have to live in ego. You don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in worry. You don't have to. Those are just choices now. Hashtag resolve to evolve. Hashtag healing changes your life. Hashtags. Robyn had a bunch of them. Fantastic show. Hashtag. Let's see here. 143. Hashtag thank you spirit. Hashtag. Had a bunch here. Healing. Yeah, changes your life. Learn to heal in tribe. Hashtag. Cup of peace. Yes. Hashtag breaking patterns. Hashtag it's off to evolve. Hashtag tribal rocks. Yes, I like that one too. You've got it. You've got it. You've got it. Okay. I love you very much. And hey, we'll see. I'll let you know if we're going to have another show next week. We'll find out. You already blessed, dirty hole. So stay blessed and happy healing. Until next time. So I will hold space for you guys. I love you very much. Oops. There we go. Yeah, finally got it to work. There we go. Bye.